Gotta do that doopity doops. Yeah, just to give you guys a heads up, just gonna pull shit up. Let everybody know that we are live. So I guess I don't have to mute myself, but yeah, actually, if you just wanna, oh yeah, give us a second. But we're here, we're listening. You know what? Go ahead and throw the plug in real quick for us, the email and all that good stuff, and I'll go ahead and send people the link and whatnot. Let the world know that there's two very weird people doing a podcast on our day off. Yeah, what am I doing here? What? Oh, here we go. All right. You know we're live. You can talk. Oh yeah, and you need to scoot the hell in. Yeah, definitely. You need to move. Yeah, you were eating some water.
I was drinking.
Gotta eat that water, man. All right, so
you can eat water, just freeze it.
Oh, touche. Yeah, really get in there. So yeah, we noticed the first time that I'm gonna watch the audio a little more, and I'm gonna tone it down. But he was too far away too, so I was too close. He was too far, and I apologize for that. Hey, Sleepy, welcome back. We missed you, buddy. Go ahead and I guess send the link out to whoever you want, and we'll get started. Today, we're having. It's like it says, it's spirituality. I'm kind of curious where this is gonna go myself. It's kind of a new thing I've been diving into and understanding. You know, more so than most people think they can. You know, it's like I'm not like, oh well, there's a God. No, it's like, could there be something? You know what I mean? But and so when he said he wanted to talk about spirituality,
so actually, this podcast is perfect. Because I actually had several episodes or warnings today. So how I knew that my dog escaped from his cage 3 times, I was never downstairs. I was upstairs. I'll explain later, but I heard some I would want to say psychic messages, and all I heard
that I can never really get into.
All I heard was the name of the dog was out of their cage. I went downstairs and guess what? My dog was out of their cage. It happened 3 times last night too.
See, I see that. To me, I just see that as, and this is how I would interpret that. See, you bring up when someone thinks as psychic, I see it as more of intuition. You know,
okay,
you got 4 dogs. Like, think about it. You got 4 dogs in the house. You already know they're not trained.
That's a better.
That's just you being smart. To me, that's how I see it.
But see, here's the thing. I was just watching TV and I heard it. I just heard a voice say the dog is out of its cage.
What do you mean you heard it?
I heard it as if someone was talking to you.
Like physically, you heard a voice.
Yeah, but no one else is there. There's just me and the dogs.
So you might want to watch that. If that happens again, you and I need to have a whole different discussion. Like really?
Okay.
When we used to look. It's good to talk to yourself, but when you hear people talk back, Benjamin, that's when you need help. Really, I'm just saying, and that's I know we're joking, but I'm dead serious.
Okay, no, it's not like I was talking to them. It was just I heard it, like just a message, just
a
general message.
All right.
I consider them warnings, and they've always been positive. It's never been like go kill this person or go do this or something terrible. No, it's never been. What's
a positive warning?
I would say it's
aren't all warnings positive?
I would say it's more of just a gentle guiding voice.
Okay. Is it more? So it's not a feeling? Because sometimes I try to interpret it with science. You know what I mean?
It can be sometimes. Like if I'm aware to the pattern enough, then yeah, it's just by feeling. But if I don't know what's going on at all, I just get a little warning. Mm-hmm. And if I follow the advice, things work out. Like I said, if I didn't catch that dog out of its cage, it would have pissed all over down.
I think I just see it. Oh, ghost. No, I see it as
I'm not saying it's a ghost. No. Okay, let me.
Ghost. You say ghost.
I think you'll get a better context if I start from the beginning.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we kind of jumped into it because I'm trying to plug this stuff and spread the podcast real quick. By the way, while we start, hi, welcome. We are Thought Bubble Podcast with us, and that's at gmail.com. Phone number is 925-305-6252. and we take questions, we take idea. Jesus fuck, I forgot to. I will kill this guy. He's so annoying.
Who?
Andrew.
Ugh.
God, he always does this to me. It's like, okay, you now see that I'm on a podcast, so what's the smart thing to do?
Call you.
Call me. Yeah, let's call me.
We're not taking live calls, people.
Yeah, like, he didn't ask. It was just like,
So,
yeah, let me mute my fucking phone and shit.
So let's
Jesus
let's
Christ.
Let's
Go ahead.
Let's start from the very beginning.
Exactly.
This podcast is called Spirituality. So what I want you to understand is, the main, I guess, the background information on this is.
Speak up, son.
Okay,
Get close. Get in here, buddy.
Okay, so your body is separate.
You gotta cuddle up. You know what I mean?
Your body is separate from your mind. All right, and how you can interpret this is, your mind is basically just you, but in an energetic form. Like we say, energy can't be created or destroyed. It's just there. It just changes forms.
Which, if we've already had this discussion.
Right, but what's interesting is, your body can react to something and you could not even be aware of it, and it just.
If you want to explore this more, here's you love this. No,
okay.
hang on, real quick, because you like this topic.
Mm-hmm.
It's still. I'm getting used to it. Look up quantum entanglement.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I got ahead of myself.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of the main aspect of this. So. You yourself is just basic energy, okay? Your body, think of your body as an avatar. This is how you interact with another human being, okay? Just like me talking to Anthony. The producer is talking to Anthony. I'm interacting with him through my avatar. My feelings are like a filter. They determine your reality. You can, based on how you feel.
Sorry, I gotta move that. They're gonna hear this. I gotta move the keyboard and shit, because it's making noise when I'm typing, and it's gonna piss people off. Here you go.
So based on how you feel, kind of filters out your reality and what you focus on. So if you're really negative, like, for example, when I was younger, I was very negative toward myself. All the time, no matter what. That's just how I grew up. Mm-hmm. That's how I was treated. Mm-hmm. It got to the point to where all I was doing was complaining about my issues. Because that's all I had to focus on. That was it.
Yeah, you were told that you were doing something wrong, and so your brain told you, that's what I have. I'm wrong. I'm always wrong. I'm always doing something wrong. But that's because of how we were raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
or I was adopted. It was horrible parents before my current parents, just to be clear. My parents are awesome.
And so what happened was I ended up changing in a positive way. I actually hit rock bottom. But, besides the fact, I got my shit together. And now it's like, it all clicks.
Sleepy says he's glad he woke up for this.
It all clicks. It's all making sense now. And I see it every day through patterns. Like, I realize I have a great job. I'm doing well. Okay, I'm earning money from home. I don't have to drain my wallet just to go to work. Like, that's how bad it was.
So real quick though, because I'm
sorry,
not sure if you're drifting, but like real quick, if you're connecting that feeling of moving forward to spirituality, I just want to say, I think sometimes, and this is my concept of, just so that we have a groundwork, so so because you're teaching me what you think.
Okay.
So here's what I think, just so I don't have to open my mouth anymore, unless I have something.
No, go ahead and clarify.
To me, I see spirituality as like a way of our brain allowing us to experience life, to experience different sensations, feelings, ideas. You know what I mean? And then feel that goodness and sensation of your understanding that, dude, this is amazing. I live. I exist.
More about
go ahead.
What you actually are. You're mainly just your essence or your energy. That's all just you. And like I said, your body is separate from that. It interacts differently. That's just how you interact with the universe. So because of that, because of this energy,
you're a quiet person.
They have determined that, we have what are called chakras. I don't know if anyone's heard of that.
And I'd like to know what the definition of that is, so I can try to internalize that and find my own meaning.
From what I understand, it is there are multiple different energy centers in your body that you can tap into through meditation.
Wait, say that again. I want to hear this.
So you can tap into these chakras or energy centers through meditation, and by doing that, you can have better control over manifestation, which has been there have been government documents released saying that manifestation is real.
I got you. Yeah.
So
here's how I see it, because I agree with you, but I'm going to word it differently.
Okay.
So I think we are both understanding the same thing. But see, and I do, I meditate
through a different perspective.
Exactly.
That's all life
I meditate.
is. No, that's all life
that
is.
That is all of life, yeah.
And so that is why our main goal is to connect to where we get to that one place.
So here's what I do, and I told you this multiple times. Every just quick, because I need to bounce back and forth. Every day after work, I told you I need to you said it, decompress.
Right.
So I lay in bed, I close I stare at the ceiling, and I just think.
Right.
And by doing that, all of a sudden, I am controlling. This is what you're saying. You have control of your body.
Yeah.
You can speak to your body. That's your brain. Your brain is you are a living computer, biological computer. Okay. So this organism is always speaking to itself. When you get stomach aches or when you get headaches, it's telling you. It's speaking to you.
Right.
So when I lay down and I decompress. I get rid of my stress. I tell my body, dude, you don't need to think about this anymore.
Right.
You don't need to feel this way. And all of a sudden, your body tells itself, because that literally is all it is. It's a bunch of these.
It's a message being converted.
These neurons firing in your brain, just saying like, "What the fuck am I doing right now?" Oh, calm down. All
it's a message that's being converted from energy to a chemical signal.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Yeah. Because by definition, it is energy.
Right.
Yes.
And so that's why you have those neurotransmitters.
Now, how you define energy, I mean, you can be weird about it or scientific about it. Back to
chakras. There are multiple energy centers that are attached to different aspects of your life, and different things that you need to focus on. Now, by meditating and by focusing your energy through those chakras, they say you can you free up your natural abundance of energy. And so what happens is you end up connecting to the world around you.
And it's because you understand. You know what I mean? You get it. You're like, wait a minute, there's shit going on here.
So you connect with the world around you.
Yeah.
And through that, you can control your own world by using what is called manifestation, which is essentially you put all your energy into something, into the universe, and it aligns with you. And it happens.
So on that word, see, every time you use because I'm a science guy, and you're kind of a faith guy, or a spiritual guy, you know what I mean? Or at least the wording is different. We believe the same thing.
I don't believe in God.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Okay.
The closest thing I believe to in God right now, because of spirituality, is source. So here, when I say...
Oh, hang on. You use the word manifestation. I want you to, because people are going to be like, okay, I'm not going to listen to some hippy-dippy shit.
Okay.
I want them to understand what that word means and how he's saying it.
Yeah.
Well, I think what you're saying is it's as simple as, if I'm happy and I am nice to you, that energy I'm putting out just naturally, biologically, chemically,
flows.
You just are now in a little bit, if you're a horrible, miserable person, maybe we get unlucky, but that energy just goes to you, and the normal response is, oh, I'm now happy. That's why when you talk to Karens, it's like, dude, you're pissing me off. Like, if they thought about treating you with respect, oh God, the world would just work if the word respect even meant anything anymore. I mean, seriously, where the fuck did that go, people? Come on, really? I mean, you call customer service. I know. I'm sorry. I'm ranting. Go ahead.
So, by, I guess, meditating.
I need to go meditate right now.
Well, no, you're able to control your world better, which makes perfect sense. But this is all the research I found out. Like I said,
who the hell is Little Orphan Andy?
Okay, hold on. Let me backtrack. I guess I've never said on this podcast, but I'm really interested in conspiracy theories. And so this is how I found spirituality.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to hear more about, but I guess we're going more spirituality today.
But this was the first topic I came upon that I was already curious, because I was curious about religion. Because I've grown up where God has no meaning to me. My parents know about him and say he's there, but I've had no help from any God. I've had no one help.
Look, okay, we really... I don't want to... Hold on. Look.
But
stop. I don't want to bring up the G word, all right? Look. Okay. Look. You know my thoughts on it, like I said.
Right.
Have I brought it up with you? Do I push it on you? To me, you want to think... Okay, I'll say this. if you want to find out some really interesting concepts of what God could be, this idea of a God, it's amazing. And I do believe in a higher power, but not the same way everyone else does. But if you want to learn more about it, go look up. I'm gonna plug fucking Dr. Drew.
So then backtrack.
Yeah, go ahead and backtrack.
So,
no G word.
Okay, no,
I don't want to jump in. Go look up Dr. Drew's perspective on God. It's fascinating.
So, like I was
saying,
saying,
he's a clinic doctor. I mean, he's a doctor.
So then, to dumb it down, it's just a different perspective. So then, I guess my perspective is, there is no God, but it's you. You are the God, because it makes sense. You're controlling the manifestations.
So this is actually great. The story I wanted to tell you that you're leading right into.
Okay, your subconscious is controlling what's going on around you, whether you know it or not. Once you figure that out, and you can download subconscious software, just like you download.
It's called learning. You're exploring.
Yeah.
When I see someone move left instead of right, even that simple, I wonder why.
Right.
I like to understand what. Now, this all leads into. All right, what was the story that I had for you? Because I was so excited to tell you about this because it just pulls into your.
Oh yeah, you were talking to your dad.
I was talking to my dad about it, and even he goes, "Oh my God, that's a really good thought. You need to think more about that." And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to tell YouTube. So all two people, both of them. And you.
All two people? You mean three people?
And I'm loud enough that my neighbors can hear me. So, of course they've already heard me say it because I talk to myself. So, whatever. I give them a show every night, dude. They need to start paying me. Now, let's see. So playing God, okay, so I was watching a documentary on Chuck Yeager breaking the sound barrier because I think sound is just a fascinating concept.
That actually leads back to in spirituality.
Then hold into it.
I got it.
Because we got a little bit to go. But so Chuck Yeager because sound is just an incredible, powerful force. It breaks kidney stones. It shatters walls. Those tools you see, it's like a jacket. Well, fuck it. Look at a jackhammer. Slam, 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 slam. Or those square ones. It's not breaking the ground. It's shattering the ground around it through the power of just vibration. So vibration is because look at microscopes. What do you cook your food in?
A microwave.
Microwave. It's a vibration. Sound. It's a vibration. It's just fascinating. And so I was watching the Chuck Yeager shit, and I was looking over on the side of YouTube, and it was a little. It's like, hey, you might like to see this, and it was the picture of Fat Man, which is the nuclear device. One of the bombs we used. Excuse you. And then one of the bombs we used on Japan, and I wonder if that's the one that missed its target. But anyway, I was looking at how the size of that bomb, and I just was thinking, it's hilarious. All it is a bomb, a device packed with a bunch of, whatever explosives, except there's a core. And in that core, we decided, so human beings decided, we have an idea. What happens if we take an atom, this core fundamental building block of the universe, and let's go ahead and break it. Fuck it, why not? Let's play God, and boom, we saw what happens when you split an atom. So at first, my first thought was, man, dude, you fucking idiot. This is why you don't play God. But then I stopped, and this is where my quote unquote spirituality or idea of a cosmic, because the universe exists, all right? This thing exists that we just don't even. We are barely in our diapers, okay? And so I thought, hold on, what if that is the human being purpose? We were given consciousness. We were given the ability to of concept. Mm-hmm. We are the only thing on the planet with concept. Just saying that word.
Right.
No, but hang on. What if our purpose is to understand what God understands? What if we're supposed to, our purpose is knowledge? He's like, he created this universe, and he's like, imagine if you grew a plant and no one looked at it, and you're like, come on guys, look, it's so pretty, look.
So okay, so back when you said sound, that's right. So in spirituality, it's known
how important sound? Okay,
it's vibration.
Well, look at music.
And so emotions control your vibration. Negative emotions, a low vibration. Positive emotions, you have a higher vibration. You're able to open up. You're able to connect. You're able to make connections. So
Well,
when
yeah,
you're
yeah,
so
communicate. I mean,
right,
you
communicate.
can communicate
So
non-verbally, which is actually
when-
much more healthy
right.
if you're able to.
So when
But
you're
with sound, you can communicate more. Yeah.
right. So when you're in a lower vibration, that is where you're tethered to this earth, where you kind of let the world control you. That's why when people say, "Oh, something way out of the blue
Excuse me.
came out of nowhere," I just got into a car accident. But if you were actually in tune and paying attention, you would probably know.
Dude, you could predict it.
You could predict
Exactly.
it. Right.
You have to be. So that's what I always tell. Like, look, it's just as simple as when I tell Zach, pay attention.
Right.
And when I tell you, use active listening. Because when you do, you just become aware of stuff that you've never even thought about before. You know what I mean?
See, that's why it was weird, because when you told me that, I didn't relate the two topics, because I was just.
It's hard to connect. You got to think about it.
But then I got this job, so I was,
Yeah.
learning new things,
Yeah.
and then it was just like
Your life is changing. You're
Right.
moving. You realize that you have control over your life, and all of a sudden, and how do you feel about it right now? How are those vibes treating you right now?
I would say 99.9% of the time, I'm good.
Exactly.
The other point, like I just had a bad day this week at work. My first week.
Me
One
too.
bad
Weird
day.
Weird
But Friday, I freaking crushed it.
Right? You told me. I asked
Yeah.
you in the morning. I was starting late. That's right, because I started at 2:30. You were done at 4, and you were like, "What did you say?" You said today was awesome, or today was fun, or something like that. And then I went and had like the weirdest, worst day, and it wasn't the job's fault. It was just the people calling were just. It was. See, and that's why I don't get frustrated at customer service. It's just what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. You have to understand that whatever that person's thinking, there's either something wrong with them. Well, period. There's something wrong with them, but it could be something serious, or it could just be a bad day.
And those can also manifest into what we call disorders.
Yeah, there you go.
Well.
It manifests. And they manifest into disorder. And a disorder is actually, it's when it's consistent. It's no longer just like, oh, he had a bad day. It's like, oh, that guy's an asshole.
You're so programmed to it, it becomes natural.
Yeah.
Like,
it becomes normal to you. You believe it is normal. That's where it becomes a problem.
I guess we were talking about Mrs. Producer, my mom. Let's call her that. But no, actually, let's not call her.
I don't like that. She doesn't deserve.
Yeah, no, she does not deserve that.
No.
But let's just say
she's not a mom either. So
right.
Yeah.
Let's just say my mother. No. I can tell I've been programmed from a small child that I don't mean anything to her.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
you were. We don't need to get into that's just.
I'm just gonna say the way I see it is like I can do anything. I could improve my life to where I could be a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, we will say this by the way, because he's bringing up mental health is what he's talking about. We are gonna have a mental health podcast at some point, but we didn't want to throw that in too early. We almost did it as our second podcast, but we figured that'd be too heavy to get new people in. But that's something that him and I really have a strong. So if you have anyone who needs help or anything, again, that phone number is there. The email is there.
Reach out to us.
Yeah, what is it? It's Thought Bubble Podcast with us at gmail.com. And it's 925-305-6252. I'll throw it in. I'll do that every time. I'll just throw it in the comments at the end of every fucking, yeah. But seriously, this really started when we both were talking about mental health. So all this other fun stuff is just fun stuff. But
so
go ahead.
So now so this is weird. So by learning spirituality, that has helped me better understand being on the spectrum. Having Asperger's. It's allowed me.
And get a doctor. Don't come to us for a professional.
Right.
If you have questions, get help. If you truly think you need help, get a doctor.
Right.
That's very important. Get someone professional.
This is just advice.
Licensed professional.
This is just suggestions.
This is suggestions.
Advice things from our life.
Our life, we can give you perspectives.
Right.
But it is very important that if you truly think you're in trouble, you need to seek a professional, licensed person, not us. All right.
So.
No, it's important.
Right. So back to having Asperger's. So by learning spirituality, I have kind of cut my learning curve almost in half. Like, it still might take me a little while to realize things, but those are more things that I've never learned before. It's not things I've constantly been learning, if that makes sense. Because I used to think I just had a problem with...
I think Sleepy wants to talk.
Oh, Sleepy, do you want to talk?
Yeah, I don't know. He says, so I'm guessing I don't talk today. TWT. Is that a cry-faced stupid thing? And then mental health is important. Take care of yourself. Damn right it is. You don't understand how important. That's the problem. You listen to any doctor these days, and they're telling you the same thing. No one's taking it seriously.
Yeah, no
and
one
people
is.
are getting misdiagnosed.
Right.
You
okay,
were
so
misdiagnosed.
Actually,
are we gonna do? Do you want to just do mental health?
Well, here.
Do you want to finish? Go ahead and finish your cosmic shit.
Well, no, actually, this leads perfectly into my diabetes, so this is perfect. So I was actually misdiagnosed as a diabetic.
Yeah.
I'm still diabetic, but I was diagnosed as the wrong type.
And you didn't get diagnosed till.
Okay, so
yeah.
let me. So just so you know, type 1 is an autoimmune disease, meaning, your immune system attacks itself. It's just specifically attacking insulin-producing cells, which are called beta cells. That's all I'm going to get the scientific wise, but they're called beta cells. They produce insulin. So this autoimmune disease attacks those cells. Therefore, you can't produce insulin, right? So type 1 diabetics are usually really, really skinny, and that's how I was when I was first diagnosed. I was practically ripped because I just got out of high school. Like, I was pretty fit in high school. And so they're like, and they tested my blood sugar, and this was through an eye exam, by the way. It was a standard procedure they do for insurance, and they weren't going to find anything, but they found red blotches behind my eyes, which is called retinopathy, and that's just inflammation in the eyes. So anyway.
So our new fan, she just messaged me. She said she's listening in.
So how they determined about me being diabetic was my blood sugar was 768. I should have been
dead.
Yeah,
dead.
Or I should have.
So explain the units again to me.
Okay, this is different. So blood sugar is just measured as you would say numbers. So if I say my BG, blood sugar, or blood glucose is 40, it just means that's my blood sugar level.
Okay. What's normal? What's normal by
normal?
Because I don't know even me.
Here, I've heard different things from different doctors.
Okay.
They say normal could be like at least.
What feels the best?
Okay, so.
Again, we're talking about body.
Right.
Your body knows
what
feels the best.
Some people can be from 80 to 120.
Okay, so it depends on the person.
Some people can be 90 to 120. They say 120 is like kind of cutting it. Iffy. They really want you to be like around 100, like around there.
He does.
But see, here's the thing. My A1C with the new medication I'm taking, I'm at 6.7, which is pretty much normal.
Yeah, and you were telling me that you're almost to the point where you don't need insulin.
In the beginning, I thought I was type 1.
80 to 150, okay.
And so type 1 is incurable, okay?
What does it say? Oh, yeah, that's the one you're born with, right?
Yeah, well, but you can both be born. Let me finish.
Okay, sorry.
So when you're autoimmune, so it's an autoimmune, you can be born with it, it just happens. And so you can't cure it. You're stuck with it. There's no known cure. And the only thing they can do is manage it by giving you multiple insulin injections. I was taking 4 insulin injections just during the day, sometimes between meals and 4 meals, just to get basic food in, and then a long-acting insulin, and that I felt bad, and I was developing heart issues and breathing issues and all this shit. Sorry.
And we try not to. That's only me. I'm trying not to swear. I don't care if
I'm really passionate about this. So if I
swear, if he swears, honestly, this guy only swears if it's like if he uses swearing where swearing was intended originally to drive a point.
So back to the point.
Back to the point.
So because I was taking so much insulin and I didn't need to because my body was already producing some. I was feeling terrible, but here's the thing. I didn't know until 5 years later, okay? But luckily, I slowly improved and was getting off that medication because I had to work out like all the time just to counteract what was going on. But I realized I didn't have to work that hard because I was taking extra insulin for no reason. Yeah. So then 5 years later, I have a new doctor who just decides to test me again. And they say you're not type 2. So that means I don't have to do math calculations to determine how much insulin I need. Like, you have to plug it into a formula that I forgot now because I don't need to use it. You use it every day. You have to compare.
Yeah, by the way, weren't you telling me, because I've heard this from many different diabetics, you have to manage it all day, every day.
Like a second job that you don't get paid for.
And it's so stressful.
But it's 24 hours a day.
So again, if you run into an asshole, find out if they're diabetic, because they're probably just stressed out.
And if your blood sugar is off, it F's up everything. It's it's bad. Like
it messes with your body chemistry.
I would wake up in college one day, and I have to call off class because I'd wake up and I'd feel terrible. I couldn't help it. Like I didn't want to. But
Can we also just point out that I called Benjamin here an asshole while we were driving to my. Well, I did call.
The producer. Whatever. It's
so
fine.
I called my friend, this guy Benjamin, today. I was driving my friend Benjamin over to my house. He's over here too, but.
Oh yeah,
and,
there's
there's another person, but anyway, and sorry, not you, other person, not you.
I thought you were talking about our one friend.
No, but I called this guy an asshole because he also is on the spectrum, and I was like, you jackass, you can. And we were talking about driving and shit.
Oh,
and,
I know. I got you confused with Benjamin Jacobs. He's a close friend of mine who used to be over here. Do you remember him? But remember, he was kind of an asshole. We had to get rid of him.
Yeah, I remember. Oh,
yeah. Okay.
But I was like, dude, you're on the spectrum, so let me get this straight. You get pulled over. All you have to do, you can be high as fuck, and all you have to do is say, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Now, you have to tell them the story of how you learned how to drive.
That's completely off of diabetic. I'm not even...
I know, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So,
at one point, tell them the story.
They finally found out I was... Okay, so 5 years later, they found out I was type 2. And, type 1 is super stressful because you have to manage everything. Type 2, my mom has been. All you have to do is take a simple injection, a long-acting injection, and then you take another one, which is like a drug that helps lower your blood sugar and helps your body naturally produce its own insulin. And then I have to take a pill that just lowers my sugar. So anyway, now I'm not...
All that shit, for...
Yeah, for 5 years. So now I'm taking 3 medications, and I'm already down to actually 22 units now. So when I get down to 7 or 8, I'm done with type 2. I'm no longer diabetic. I thought I was stuck with it. And that's why I had it for 5 years. If I knew I was type 2 right away, even though I was skinny, I would have gotten my shit together. Because actually, it's not really the weight gain for type 2. It's just your body's system of controlling sugar. If that's out of whack, you could be really, really skinny, or you could be really, really fat.
So it's just that simple. It really is, yeah.
And so they get that confused between type 1 and type 2 because type 1, you're naturally skinny because it's an autoimmune disease. You're sickly.
Okay.
I was just skinny because I was working out 7 days a week.
Yeah, and you had no idea.
Right, but see, I stopped in college, and that's when I felt bad.
Wait, hang on. Gastric bypass can cure type 2. Ooh.
Yes, but here's the thing. My mom's getting that because she's way overweight.
So wait.
I don't need to do
that.
that.
He doesn't. He's slightly overweight. I'm too skinny. I need to gain some weight. But
weight has actually been easier to lose. I've lost more weight because
he wouldn't need gastric.
Because I'm not on so much...
Why does your mom... is she over... Oh, is she
Because I'm not on so much insulin. That's why I'm losing weight naturally.
Naturally.
Because the higher insulin you have...
So your mom's overweight?
Hold on. The higher insulin you have, the more weight your body's going to accumulate. Because insulin is a hormone that says, hey, you need to save this. You're not using it? Well, just store it as fat. So people...
Because, sugar gets converted to fat.
So when you eat foods that are higher in sugar, your body turns sugar into fat, not fat into fat. Your body is naturally able to process fat more.
That's what carbs do, too. I mean, that's because that is sugar.
And carbs are easier to break down than pure sugar. But the thing is, we have so much pure sugar in our diet, it's making people already diabetic and they don't even know about it.
Dude,
they just don't have symptoms.
The amount of sugar that they pump into food is just...
They say, oh God, it's like...
It's embarrassing. Our country is embarrassing when it comes to mental health and physical health. Our country is embarrassing.
We don't care.
We do not care. Oh, that looks yummy. It tastes good. I'm now addicted to this. Addiction to it's just not treated correctly.
The same thing with mental health. Like I have Asperger's. No one showed me how to do it. They diagnosed me. Okay.
Yeah. Now, would you say you didn't? Would you say I've taught you? Because I've been around it my entire life, and now you've been able to understand it a little better.
I've never had anyone explain
talk to you. Yeah. You never had a voice.
Because my parents don't want to talk to me.
Because you don't have your mom. You don't have a mom. Your dad's awesome, but he's not always there.
Here's the thing. I can talk to my dad, but he's busy. He's dealing with 2 other kids.
Yeah.
I'm focused on moving out.
I know. I'm glad because that's what people need. They need to be heard, listened to. And here's the thing. I was telling my mom, I was like, see, this is why we shouldn't have been paying for therapy. Because I'm doing with what I do with my mom.
I did therapy, and here's what I realized. They don't care.
Oh, no. It's not that. It's not that. No. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
Here's what I noticed. Whenever the insurance was funny, and let's say I really had...
Well, they want their money.
Right, no, but let's say I didn't know that. I'm calling them for a reason. It just happened to be on the scheduled appointment.
This is really important for people to hear, and we actually have people listening. So
okay, go ahead.
This is very important So therapy, if you ever go to therapy and they tell you you need to, you should, you blah, you never want to hear that from someone because that's a controlling environment. You need to remember that you are in control. They should be hearing you.
Okay.
And then they need to, this is why you and I got along, and that's how I started to understand you. I monitored your behavior, and then I asked you, what do you think you could do? What do you want to do? Then you told me you wanted a new job. So I was like, all right, I will help you with that. Now that's how someone therapizes, whatever. Now, so I told my mom,
conducts therapy.
Conducts therapy. both jokingly and seriously. I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I was in therapy for what, like 3 years, something like that. And look, you and I, what we do, you're throwing it away?
Yeah, that's my old.
Oh, is it dead?
My old vape.
Yeah. So so what we do is therapy. There's no difference between what I'm doing with you and I did with that licensed, because she does it, and she goes, well, but I'm not a professional, Anthony. If you think you need to talk to someone, I'm like, no, Mom. And then I explain that to her, what she's doing. She's not telling me what I should do. She's always just suggesting, well, maybe you should try prayer. I mean, that's her go-to, obviously. She's the Jesus queen of life. But it's, try, have you thought about this? What do you think might help? And then, so the key is to make the person understand they need to explore themselves. If you can't do that, then, maybe it becomes what do you call it? The difference between a physical and like when you need medication.
Right.
If you need medication, that means it's in your brain. There's a chemical disorder that needs to be balanced.
Right.
And that's the problem with doctors back in the day when I was put on Concerta for talk about
they would overprescribe.
They would throw you the wrong.
Here's why they would overprescribe certain drugs because certain pharmaceutical salesmen would be like, "Hey, if they take them out to lavish dinners and stuff or do stuff for them, and then they'd be like, look, if you sell my drug, I will give I'll give you some money because those people got paid so much they could give them like."
There is and it's
kickback,
talked about. There's a reason,
or perks.
There's a reason that they have every month. And I just watched the whole thing about this just to understand the medical, what do you call it, the community a little better. But every month they have, what do they call them? Morbidity. I don't know. Basically, like morbidity. Yeah, more immortality. Something immortality.
Morbidity.
You're right.
Yeah.
I can't fucking remember.
No.
Basically, death shit.
Yeah.
They come in, they sit down, and they're like, "Look, why are we doing this? Are we sure?"
Mortality.
Well, I got that one, but what's the other word? It's like morbidity. I think it's morbidity and mortality.
Morbidity. Okay.
Morbidity and mortality, and they sit down, and they're like, "Okay, look, that clearly isn't working." Okay, hang on, Andy. Morbidity. Yeah, morbidity.
Okay.
All right, yeah. And they sit down, and they're like, "All right, look, this seems to be working." So that's them trying to learn themselves.
Right.
We put them on a pedestal, but they're just people trying to understand a specific subject.
Right.
So and that's why oh God, don't even get me into start.
But it's just, it feels, because there's been situations where, like, OxyContin. I actually watched, it was a fun.
It's OxyContin.
Okay, or Contin, sorry.
Yeah.
OxyContin. I watched.
All the rednecks say cotton. Okay.
Why
do you think they're using it all the time? They can't even say the word.
Hey, this explains it. My mom grew up in the South, and, she's racist. So.
Oh, great! Oh, yeah, perfect! Just perfect example of America, right there. Great.
I'm not racist, but it's like I just heard cotton.
I love when people say,
"Yeah,
and then you talk to people and they start the sentence with, I'm not racist, but." And it's like every time the word "but" comes into a sentence, it's like, all right, just shut up, just stop right now.
It's a bad connotation.
It's a moot point, like Michael all the time. The "but" is coming. I predicted the "but" is coming all the time.
You know what I realized? Michael is like my mom.
Yeah, I think he's.
He's different. They're different. Yes, they don't have.
Well, he needs the control.
Right,
he needs the control. I wonder where he gets that from.
What I'm saying is, I don't think my mom has the autism aspect of it.
Yeah.
She definitely has the control and the ADHD.
I wonder where your mom gets that from. Did she have? How were her parents?
Her mom. Oh no, her mom was a really bad alcoholic and drug addict.
No, that's just not.
She wasn't violent, but it was just she was very out of place.
And let me tell you how serious, by the way, mental health is. When I heard about his mom and how he was raised, I told him the minute that my mom leaves, she's coming by. We're cutting a tree down, but he can live here until he finds a new. He cannot be there. That's how damaging it is. And I hope you have a better grasp on it now.
Just to clarify, it's not like I'm not in any physical danger, or it's not like I'm so
you're
depressed.
not physically abused. You're being emotionally and mentally abused.
Yeah, it's not like I'm so depressed where I'm just like, oh, whatever. But it's just mentally, yeah. I can't be there. Like I'm trying to move out.
All right, hold on. Andy just Andy just said something stupid, and like I said, you know how I am with stupid comments. All right, I love everyone, but stupid is stupid. America isn't racist. First of all, no one fucking said America's racist.
Right.
Why do people do that? Why do they just stop?
Right,
why
no.
I'm yelling at him.
Okay.
Why do people hear something and then say something that has nothing to do with that? All I said was, "Oh, his mom is racist." Oh, great. Meaning I don't like racism, and it is a problem in America. It doesn't matter how big it is. It doesn't matter how small. What the fuck? Who cares? Oh, good. He's just said. Get that. Shut up.
I have a point.
Shut up. Shut up. No. He's basically saying, yeah, we do meth, but we don't do meth as much as them. What the fuck is? Oh God! All right, now you can go. I can breathe now. I gotta go walk around my room.
I was gonna say, if you let me talk.
I know. I had to rant, man.
Hold on. That it's not America. It's the person.
Christ! Exactly. The fuck? No one said. Oh God!
We could have gotten to that.
Idiots like that. What the hell, man?
We could have gotten. We could have gotten to that point 10 times faster without you explaining it.
So
Just saying. Just saying.
But doesn't it just frustrate you?
Yes, it does. But you have to learn to move past the anger.
Jesus
you have to
God! I know.
If you don't,
I know. But
if you don't control your emotions,
stupidity is my trigger point. And I don't even think Andy's stupid.
Hey, now I will agree with you. In a negative environment, like I was at Kroger.
Yeah.
With that negative environment, stupidity would piss me off.
Oh.
Because I'd not only get it from my coworkers, I'd get it from customers.
Yeah.
Like people don't know how to pump gas, America.
Oh, what?
Okay, now that's true. It's
water. America, not near my computer, bro.
In America, people don't know how to pump gas. It is dumbfounded.
Yeah.
Dumbfounding to me that all these people at Kroger just don't know how to put a pump in a car and pump it. I don't even drive a car. Okay, the closest thing I drove to something was a moped that I'm waiting on for almost 2 years to get
which I thought you were lying about, by the way.
No. to
How
get a part back just so I can have a vehicle.
Yeah.
It's insane, but you know. And I even knew how to pump gas before I even started this job. It's just something you learn, you know. And I'm sitting there like, what? Why do? Please, just use something in your brain. Use.
I mean, it's a big box on the side of your car that you can push or pull.
Not even 10%. It shouldn't take 10%. It should take 0.1. I don't even know the math.
Dude, 16-year-olds are learning it when they fucking drive. They can drive and pump gas. You know what I mean?
Right.
What the fuck?
Right. God. And you got these middle-aged people, either a little older than me or 30-year-olds. They're like, oh no, but I'm like, and they're Kroger members and they've seen the pump so many times, and they're just like, what's going on? Because I know they don't listen because you have to show them, and they just want you to do it for them.
Oh man.
And so, but I've realized when I educated some customers who actually understood what I was saying, people, I would barely have anyone come up and be like, I need help. I need help. And it got to the point where it was like, I can enjoy my shit. You're proving
Andy's point, by the way. You're literally commenting on the fact that I shouldn't rant and rave. I get triggered. And by the way, like I said, I don't even think Andy's stupid. It's just when people do those things, I just think to myself, it baffles me. What was going on in your head?
Right, now back to spirituality. That's how I learned that.
Oh, and you were saying real quick on the gas pumping thing, though?
Yeah.
I'm going to say old people get a pass, because at that point, they lived long enough. If they're forgetting shit, let them go, all right?
I've had people who are 80, I get it. 70, I get it. But sometimes
but 30-year-olds? What the fuck,
but
dude?
Sometimes if their mental clarity is there, they're not slow, or I have to repeat myself 10 times, then I'm like, okay, you're just using your age. Which is fine, but whatever. Yeah. But it's, so back to spirituality. How I learned how to control my anger was through that. Good segue. Because when I was autistic.
when I was an addict.
No. When I was out of control with my autism, when I didn't have really
an idea, you had no grasp.
No grasp on it. I was quick to anger. I would just go off.
Yeah.
Because we're not naturally conditioned to be like, okay, you need to control yourself. Now, it wasn't like I'd have outbursts like some other people I know, but occasionally if I was angry, really angry, yes, I'd explode.
Yeah.
But through spirituality,
tantrums. That's normal in autism.
Right.
Yep, screaming, like violence. Right. Zachary does it. My friend Jose does it.
So through spirituality, I've learned to control that more. Like I'm aware of what pisses me off, and depending on the person, yes, I might lash out. But now it's like if I know them, I know it's just something they do. Yeah. I might ignore it. Now, if it's during a time where I'm feeling bad and I don't want to put up with it, yes, I will.
Yeah, there's times, there are days after work where I will literally go to, because communicating, what you're saying is, I was a communication major. My senior thesis literally is called The Significance of Empathy and Effective Communication. But communication alone is the most significant thing, and that's what you're saying.
You can't just have empathy.
If I walked out there and did not tell him, I went out and I told him, I said, listen, I just got off work. It was a rough day. Please don't talk to me. I'm not mad at you. I'm not, there's nothing going on with you. It has nothing to do with you. I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm a little irritable right now. And that way he knew. But if I just walked out and exploded at him, now I ruined his day. He's wondering why I'm mad at him.
I communicate myself to my mom like that, exactly what you said.
And she doesn't.
She doesn't even pick it up.
I know.
So okay, for instance,
she never got help.
I started my first job. I wasn't even a week in, okay? And, it was the third week of training where we actually started making calls, right? Mm-hmm. And it was a day where I still had the hour break for training. And so I got on my hour break, and I walked downstairs. I was going to make a meal, watch some TV, relax. It was stressful, right? Mm-hmm. And so I get downstairs, and she goes, can you let the dogs out and take out the trash while you're downstairs? And she goes, are you here for lunch? I'm like, yeah, I'm here for lunch. I need to eat. And so she's like, well, you can do it at the same time. I'm like, no, Jesus I need Christ. To eat. Yeah, man. Do the stuff I want to, go back to work.
So
I ended up doing it, but then I came back to work more stressful. I was like, I don't need this. Please.
Here, go ahead and read it. It's your show, man. I'm sorry for interrupting you so much. Ow.
I thought your foot was moved. Okay.
He says, I don't know what I did, but I used to be able to be triggered by little things, but now I have little to no anger to anything. That's great. So you want to talk about that? I think that's wonderful. That means he's controlling. He understands where those feelings are coming from. Right. And that's the problem. So when people can't control it, that's where medication comes in.
That's what I'm saying. By learning this out of nowhere.
No, you learn it by thinking. You're starting to think about it.
Right. But what I'm saying is by touching on the topic just barely, it's already related to my life so perfectly. It's like, well, it's obviously true.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I said, you go outside. It's my favorite saying. You go outside and one person calls you an asshole, they're probably an asshole.
Right.
You go outside and everybody calls you an asshole, you're probably the asshole. So you got to put those pieces together. That saying has so much depth. A little bit of humor, but it's so true. Anyway, yeah, go on. Oh, yeah.
So, all right, let's see here. So, about intuition, like I said. So, I know what you mean by what you're saying. So I already knew the patterns, right? I agree with you, but what I'm saying is through spirituality, through
extra,
through actually meditating. I tried it once just to see what.
That's how I started too, dude. And it didn't work at first.
I meditated, and what happened was, I was just thinking positive. My anger went away. I was very positive. I focused on what my goal was to move out. Because I was very nervous when I thought I was going to get fired from this job.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and
that was
I did this.
I told you were good, but that was. I knew that feeling.
But what happened was I calmed down. Yeah. I ended up going to sleep. I woke up the next morning. I was still upset about it in the morning a little bit, but I managed to crush it because it was.
I thought you were about to say I cried and then I moved on.
Well, I kind of did. But,
sure, yeah. But, and by the way, it is healthy to cry. Right. Any man that says, "Oh, that's not manly,"
I know.
They're an idiot.
So when. So then when I when I crushed it that last day, I mean, I knew he was probably going to let me through. He was just warning me, but it was just so. Okay, let me get back to where I was.
Sure.
Okay, so intuition. So back to the dog thing. Like these messages would happen at work, even all the time. Like I could be sitting there, I realize I have a bad interaction.
Talk to them. Aim your voice over there. Yeah.
Sorry,
I appreciate it.
A bad interaction with a customer. And like it's almost like I get a reassurance voice that says, "Yeah, no, your manager's not gonna mess with you. That's fine." Like almost a reassurance that I don't have to stress.
They communicate. That's what's great about our job. They communicate all day, every day.
So I feel like for Christians,
it's a little
out,
scary.
So
but...
you know how Christians say like angels and demons?
Sure.
I would say not angels and demons per se. It's more of just like a spiritual guide.
But that's how they see that, and that's the best thing about it. They don't even know this, but that's just how they interpret a certain feeling or emotion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So by learning about this topic, I've realized that yes, because think about it, energy exists in all forms. Okay, so it's possible that when you die. Okay,
here I'll sit over here so you can pretend I'm in front of you.
when your physical body dies, it's done. You realize that spark in your eyes is gone. That light, that energy is gone. That's you.
That I hope everyone appreciates.
And so what happens is you end up almost like being recycled in a way.
Because matter can neither be created nor destroyed.
You get recycled, but you end up going through almost like an evaluation of your life.
Ooh, I like this. We keep going.
And so there's this like there's this gentle presence that reassures you and kind of explains your life to you. And you end up
just put my leg
and
here.
so you end up remembering what you did your previous life. And Sleepy can actually back this up. Sleepy, if you're okay with talking about this, I know this was.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I'm thinking of a way to get him actually on to talk. I can call him on the phone if you.
Let me finish. Yeah. This was random, but I know you told me about past lives. So if you want to talk about that, I'm game.
This is interesting.
I'm going to touch on it, but so in this aspect, you end up learning about your past lives.
Okay.
And those are like your trials, like what you messed up on.
Yeah, like Osiris.
So think of it as think of it as a video game. Let's say you played through half of it, but then you died some way. Now you have to start over.
You got a reset button.
Reset the entire game instead of the level. But you can consider.
Tell me when to calm. I'm gonna calm.
You can consider each life like a level. Okay, so like, level one could be your first life, and let's say you just learn to be less of an asshole. Less of an a-hole.
Yeah.
Let's say. So then, therefore, your next life, you might be kinder, but you might be more submissive, and you end up getting more control.
Ooh, and you can fail the lives. Right. So you have to start that life over.
But here's the thing: you forget about it. So it's like if you don't learn while you're restarting or while you're relearning, it's a constant cycle. And this happens is because when we incarnate on this earth, there are negative emotions, negative forces that have been pushed around through media, through technology, through, all sorts of, even TV. So even when you watch, like, let's say a scary movie, you know how kids end up saying, oh, there's the monster in my room that they just watched? It's because in their young age, they're in a theta wave or vibration that they're more hypnotic, they're more aware.
What's a theta wave?
It's... A theta wave is just, the way I think of it, is just another form of vibration that's not high enough to where you have control. Because the way spirituality works is you raise your vibration to have more control because you're more in tune with everything. So when you're younger, it makes sense. You're not in tune with everything.
Okay.
You're in hypnosis. You have more imagination. That's why you can pretend an empty vodka bottle is a spaceship. You find an empty vodka bottle.
Yeah, that's amazing with children. Their imagination is amazing.
Right, and so
we lose that for some reason.
And so because of that,
I guess it's because we realize
because of that, our world is negative. They take advantage of that, and they feed you that information. So if your parents watched the news back then, when you were a kid and you sat down and you got used to watching the news, tell me if I'm wrong. The news was always negative. There's never anything positive. They might honor a hero if they die, but that's still negative. You know what I mean? That's still a negative message. And so when you soak that up every day, you end up putting that energy out. Because like we said, you are in control. And so if you're absorbing something and believing in negative emotions, you're now putting that out everywhere. And when you put that out, that ends up coming back to you. Because energy is not created or destroyed. It's just recycled. Or it changes form. It doesn't go through a physical process of recycling, but that's the way we can put it into a concept.
So, I love the use of, because I've always been fascinated. I've been fascinated by because I love physics, and so the idea. So first of all, I think telling us, they're like, how do we dumb this down for these idiots? And they tell us matter can't be created or destroyed. Dude, matter was created. That's what we are. So they need to reteach that or rephrase that really right off the bat. But here's the thing. Matter cannot be destroyed. once something exists, it exists. So when
I guess
hold on, I want to talk about your point that you just made.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm trying to bounce back.
Go ahead.
Because I don't want to do what Andy's saying. He's right. I got to chill on my ADHD a little bit.
Go ahead.
But I do want to bounce this back and forth.
Okay, go ahead.
The idea that, you know, when I die, like when I die, I just want my ashes to be spread somewhere. I don't give a shit. I kind of like the ocean because I'm a fisherman. I love fish. My favorite animal's a manta ray. So fuck it, throw me.
Back to the point.
But back to the point. Matter can't be. So I'm going somewhere, and those molecules, those atoms, they're going to be used for something.
So
just by definition,
so
they're
we
going
can
to be
change it to maybe once matter is created, it can no longer.
Okay, I like.
destroyed.
See, that's how they should word it. Yeah.
And then they could even say, and it changes forms, or word that into something.
Yep. Solid, liquid, gas. We got other shit that you don't even fucking know.
You know, you could say once matter is created, it changes forms and never gets destroyed.
He wants to talk to you, so this. I'll go walk back and forth in my room and pace around.
Well, you'll have to read it to me.
No, he wants to call in.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so you and him can talk about spirituality because this is actually fascinating. It's a different perspective.
Sorry, I can't see the screen.
Yeah, he's
very
blind, by the way. I have to read everything. Even with his glasses, it's just I've put them on. Just take a guess.
I can still see the computer.
He knows he's in my bedroom.
Okay, I see normally it's just really small lettering on his computer is like chicken scratch,
shit.
literally.
Where's Sleepy?
From where I'm sitting.
Sleepy.
Literally, sometimes. But so like I was saying.
Oh no, I lost Sleepy. Where's his phone number?
Oh, dude, you can call him on Discord.
Oh god damn it! I guess I have. You wanna?
I'll pull him up on my iPad.
Yeah, you can call him on your iPad, and it's actually close to the mic. Yeah, no, that's perfect. Sleepy, we're gonna give you a call on Discord. And cool. Wait, I also have vision problems too. You're like, dude, Sleepy's literally you. I mean, wait, is he on the spectrum? I wonder? Because he's. Oh, there you go. Okay.
We're calling you, Sleepy. Don't be sleeping on us, bro. Come on.
Yes. Well, he did wake up for the podcast. Yeah.
Hey, bro, what's up?
Oh, turn the podcast off in the bag, buddy.
Yeah, turn the podcast
off. Go ahead.
off.
Oh, you got to charge that, huh?
I turned it down.
No, don't turn it down. Just mute it. Just mute it. No one needs to hear that in the background.
I can transfer it to my phone if I need to.
No.
No, my phone has
it's at what? 26%. What is it going to do? Talk for 4 hours?
Oh.
Well, you guys probably could do that. I'm actually curious to hear this.
It's the only app open. I was just saying, just in case. All right. Sleepy, go ahead.
So my version, because you said that you brought up past lives and stuff.
Right.
So I've met my past lives. I've seen images. I've been able, through meditation and through sheer will, you're able to see what your past lives look like and maybe even a bit about them.
And so
it comes in like images or like small clips, like a few seconds.
Right, like
what you'd see a video.
So Sleepy, no, this is actually, because I love learning about like this different perspective on the same concept, but the spiritual. So when you say you see when you've seen them, I would love to understand that. Like how did you see that? How did that come out to be? How did it manifest?
Yeah, how did it manifest?
I was told through a friend that I had. He told me what my aura was, and he said through that you can do this. So he told me to do was try to focus all your energy on this certain thing and try to see this. Because he's the one who taught me how to send messages through the mind.
Interesting.
Right, exactly.
Interesting.
I've been able to send them, but I've not been able to receive them.
Interesting.
That's the problem I have.
And here's what's interesting. I just want to point this out. We're the opposite in that way. You said you're able to send them but not receive them. I'm able to receive them but not send them.
Yeah, and also I want to point out too from a like I said, my brain works more scientifically. I see that more like you are giving people, but they're not. Maybe these specific people just aren't giving back, or they can't give back. You know what I mean? Like it's not you say it's your problem. No, I think you're doing everything perfectly. You're giving out the right vibes and the right thing. But they just, it's okay. And that's the thing when we say you just got to understand that some people may have a bad day or But no, I don't see that as you're not doing anything wrong at all. You need to
you communicate differently because like I've said, when I hear those messages, I'm not freaked out and like, "Oh my god, am I schizophrenic?" I'm just like, "No, I get it. It makes sense." And when I follow that advice,
I just realized the mic might be a little bit far away from Sleepy, so I'm going to move it here. Yeah.
So like I said, when I follow that advice, things work out. And so how I tested this was one time I got a message and it was over something I didn't really care about, and I decided to ignore it. And guess what happened?
What?
Something I couldn't predict, and I wasn't in control.
Wait, hang on. What's he saying? What's he saying?
Wait, hold on. What'd you say?
Go ahead.
I said when you ignored it, it ended up in a worse outcome than it could have been if you did listen to it.
You cut out a little bit. Go ahead and say that one more time, because it sounded like it was interesting.
Because when you ignored the advice that was given to you, you had a worse outcome than what was expected if you did follow that advice.
This kid's smart. I mean, yes.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And like I said last night, when the dog escaped 3 times after I locked that cage the same way, I was just too tired to mess with it, because it was getting to like 3 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to go to bed. I wanted to sleep in, and I went down there multiple times, and so like. But it was just a message each time. Like, I would just watch TV, think he was locked in there, and then he would get out again. And I didn't realize it that fast enough. Like I said, I was tired. I was done with him. And this morning, hopefully I fixed it. Hopefully he doesn't get out. I had to, like, tether that thing with a cable. Oh, my gosh. But, yeah, so I get it.
What I think could have happened with the dog is, how they're probably like a puppy. They're still learning.
Actually, here's the funny thing.
And they figured out, because I know some dogs.
Our dog is small.
Unlock cages.
Right. Our dog is small. He's not a puppy anymore. He's actually like older than 10. But he's small enough to where he just pushes on the door and slips out. And so that's why my mom...
I wanted to see your dogs. I forgot to see him today. I got to meet your brother. That was awesome.
He was leaving for
he's so
work.
smiley, dude. He just like, I see why you brag about him all the time. He's a good kid.
No, he's really great.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because, my sister treated him like shit.
Yeah.
But I think from that, he learned from it. But anyway, yeah, so... It was weird how this event happened right when I was already thinking about this, right when I was already kind of prepping for this podcast. Even all week, just going from work to thinking about this because
you're new to it.
Right. No, it's not only that, but when I kind of awoke, this is the term we use in my philosophy. When I was awake
you've awoken. Your mind is now starting to race and think.
Right. So now that I'm awake, more alert.
Alert. That's a good
word.
Aware. That's excellent.
Yeah. So now that I'm more aware of how life functions, how life is designed to work, I'm able to finally take control of my life. Not only my life, but the world in my perspective.
And I've seen it very strong. By the way, I just want to point out, he's proof of it. There was a little conflict between him and I when we first met, but then I got to understand him better, and he listened to me. It blew my mind. No one listens to me. Like really, it's like it's insanity. I keep trying to help people, and then they just do the opposite. But I keep trying. But then he came along and listened. He got a job. He stopped doing crazy weird things. He started understanding himself. He's like, yeah, Anthony's right. I need to start thinking, because it really is just that simple.
Right. You just don't know it.
I just let you know he's doing all of it on his own. You know what I mean?
If you notice while growing up, you're never taught to think. You're on autopilot. Yeah. Because what did teachers do? They pre-program you with stuff that is just, they have to do it. They're required to do it. They are required.
What's the agenda today?
They are required to program you not.
What was it? Every Wednesday? Was that the day they had their teaching schedule?
It's kind of like this. Their job is to teach you mostly useless information to take up the time. Yes, there's some value in school. Some. But the value almost declines when you hit high school.
Yeah,
when you really
the best I learned
when you really need to learn how to live, how to survive.
Get this right on the topic. The real truth. And now I mean the things I cared about, like how to communicate. Public speaking got me. I used to be I couldn't talk. What's up?
Where did we start?
Oh, it's right up there, dude.
Oh,
we got time. We're good.
I was gonna say.
No, hang on, real quick, Sleepy. Real quick. But the real big places that I learned, obviously I love physics. I love understanding how the universe works. But the biggest, what I took away from high school, my study hall person.
Oh yeah.
So whenever I walked up to him and I said, can I use the bathroom or can I go to the bathroom? He'd go, I don't know. Can you?
Right.
And it's like, I'm sorry, may I please go to the restroom?
I had teachers like that. Some
and then,
teachers like
and then
that.
I would, and in study hall, I never had anything to do, so I did. He told me do crossword puzzles. It'll make you smart, dude. That motherfucker was right. Now, if I ever had an issue with it, I was like, dude, I don't know what this is, and he slammed an encyclopedia and a dictionary down, and he said, look it up.
Now I had
Right there, teach yourself.
I had a different study hall teacher. Him was, he would walk up to you and be like, "You have your homework done, or you have your work done?" I'd be like, "Yeah," and then he'd be like,
all right, cool, do this.
Right, yeah, he'd be like, "Cool, do this."
Yeah.
And I'd be like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm done with my homework." So what I would do is, if I was done with my required work, because no one wants to do extra work when you're younger, I would just.
No one ever wants to.
Okay, they tried to block all of our like social media and like.
You actually. This is for me. It was before social media,
like Netflix and stuff. But since we had iPads in school, I just downloaded it. I downloaded a VPN on my personal iPad and just watched TV on that during study hall. Just put my headphones on and just.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
We didn't even have phones.
And then when I had teachers who would walk by, I would always have workout and have the screen picture in picture. So I'd be watching a show and just doing work, and they would ignore me.
This is incredible.
But I'd already have the work done, and they just think I was working. But
you should never give a child a computer first.
That's how I was conditioned.
I take that back.
That's how everyone was conditioned with the school system. And so when you're not taught to think, but just taught to do, see monkey or what's it?
Monkey see, monkey do, monkey pee all over you.
Yeah, monkey see, monkey do. That's exactly what they do in school because that's how they program you from such a young age.
But every now and then you get one person that really does.
But here's the thing: they do it so much that when you get that one person, you think they're crazy. Because you're I'm saying for the majority of the population.
Maybe, yeah.
Because you see all these dumb people because they just believe their teachers.
If everyone does this, I should be doing this.
Right. If everyone is going out during COVID and not dying,
monkey see, monkey do.
I'm gonna go out during COVID and I'm not gonna die.
Right.
But you might die. You know what I mean?
It's a sheep mentality.
Yeah, a sheep mentality.
Sorry, Sleepy. I forgot he was here.
Yeah, me too. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say originally that I think that the people aren't listening to you because I've said this before. Just because somebody gives me my some advice doesn't mean I'm going to take it.
Yep.
Right.
Just because I give advice to people doesn't mean I'm going to take my
So there's
advice.
right there. He's actually saying something really important, and this is something that I'm trying to work on myself. Is people like me who have their trauma survivors, sexual, assault survivors, all this shit. It comes down to there's two outcomes for people like me. Either you are deeply disturbed and you don't like people and you want to hurt people, or you have an obsessive compulsive need to help people. Now, giving advice is a very dangerous thing. You look and watch. I just studied Dr. Drew and Jordan Peterson and listen to. I have my own personal experiences where you give advice because you think you're helping, but they didn't ask for advice. So this last experience I had with a friend who's she's dealing with addiction and she's got a lot of issues. But this time around, when she came back to me, she left. She ran off, and I said to myself, and I told my friend, she'll be. In fact, my best friend told me, Francesca told me, oh no, she'll be back. She'll be back. And she came back, and I told her from the beginning, I will always have my door open. I don't care if you're mad at me or yelling at me. I understand that you're dealing with things. But what I failed in one, we'll call it an experiment. I gave advice when she didn't ask for it, and it triggered her because she thought I was trying to control her. So you never get. That's what I was saying about therapists before. Like, it's great to listen to someone. And then you say, well, is there anything I can do to help you? You let them know that you're there. Because right there, you might not even need to give advice. You now have told them that they have another human being that is willing to be there for them. So giving advice is a very dangerous game. And again, don't feel like you failed. It's good that you even give a shit. That's a big step in your brain.
So,
go ahead.
So, back to autism and Asperger's and stuff. If you noticed, like,
it's actually perfect.
I've noticed a lot of things are similar, in terms of how people like act in general and how autism is. It's just on a little
a higher degree of, I wouldn't say stupidity, but more like ignorance.
Yeah.
But it's natural ignorance.
It's natural. It's normal.
It's amplified to a certain degree.
It's the lack of. There's the ignorance of bliss. You know what I mean?
Right,
where you just have no idea that you could know.
But
then there's
what
the
I'm saying
ignorance
is
of choosing not to.
What I'm saying is when a typical autistic person is born, their ignorance is just a little worse than someone
it's
being
more blissful. Look at Zach. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's more unaware.
And it's normal.
It's more unaware than a typical person who, a neurotypical person, I should say.
It's clear and evident that they need to work extra hard to be aware.
Right, or just to do anything.
To do anything, exactly. Right. Yeah.
And so, because of that, I'm glad I found this was like my first topic ever. Like I said, this fit perfectly into my goal. And so it's like, by realizing everything is lining up what I'm learning, and then I'm applying that to my life, it's like I know I'm going on the right track. It's just I'm still stuck on that step where, I'm stuck in an environment where I don't want to be here. I'm trying to do my best to get out of here. I'm trying to have the right path. And, sometimes I ask my mom for advice, but sometimes I feel like I can't anymore because, I had that job where I was going to help kids with autism.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And, my mom was like, oh, insurance, yada, 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 and convinced me like, yeah, I need to pay attention to that. But when I looked at the insurance, yeah, it was crappy, but I probably could have afforded it or gone a different route eventually. But that job would have gotten me out of Kroger. I could have been done with this a hell of a lot.
We both talked about this yesterday. Mm-hmm. We've established that your mother, or at least what's supposed to be your mother, highly undervalues you as a human being.
Right.
And that has damaged you. See, people, again, it's so important, especially for children. You need to be loved. You need to understand that you matter because people just grow like me. I still have that issue of I'm wrong.
The miscommunication is like, oh, you should be this, this macho guy who is control of everything. Yeah. And not everyone's like that. They've grown up differently to where they haven't experienced that. They haven't had the chance.
I keep forgetting he's here.
They haven't had the they haven't had the chance to take control. They've never learned that. And so, I feel like just maybe autism is now becoming the norm.
Well, and I think I was actually telling you about that's a very good point. There's so many people, so it's become such a, at first it was, oh, they're autistic, and then it was like, oh no, they have Asperger's, it's not autism, it's just Asperger's, and then it's like, okay, we're stupid, it's a whole spectrum.
Right.
It's like, okay, dude, basically what you're saying is everyone has an issue. It's a very broad social issue, like there's, you know what I mean? Like, so, and it becomes so... And I wonder how it explodes. Either two things happen. It is exploding, so there's something we're doing wrong to ourselves, where that is happening.
It's learning. We're not teaching. We're not teaching.
No. See, no, that would be assuming that autism isn't, or Asperger's or whatever isn't a real thing.
So then I guess we're not.
What I'm saying is
we're not noticing.
We're damaging our body, or we're just now realizing those people were already here.
Actually, I think what it is, we are damaging our body. Because think about it.
I think that personally.
Think back. I guess you can't really visualize this, but when you were a baby, when you were in the womb, what did your mom consume while you were in utero? Yeah. What foods did she ingest?
And what drugs did she do?
What drugs did
what
she do?
What alcohol did she drink?
What drugs did she try to stop?
How many people did she have sex with? You know what I mean? Like,
because
how many diseases? There's so many.
I'm getting to a point.
All right.
I actually heard this from my mother because I wanted to know. I heard it from my aunt. My aunt told me that when my mom found out she was pregnant with me, she didn't find out till like 3 or 4 months in, and she was in college, and she was, what do you do in college? Even though you could be the most intelligent person ever, but you still go out to
do everything.
Party, right?
You learn about all the fun stuff.
Yeah. Like.
Now the question is, do you stop doing the fun stuff?
Right. Now, did she do drugs? No, she would just drink alcohol, but there was probably alcohol going on during the pregnancy. There was a lot of different factors that I didn't know about that I think, can contribute to an early delivery, and then an early delivery can determine what what you struggle with or what you have to get used to, because you were never fully developed in the beginning.
Yeah.
You were always,
you had no chance.
You were never
dealt wrong cards.
You were never fully programmed. It'd be like if you got a new laptop and you only programmed in half the shit.
Dude, imagine if you were born. Imagine pulling out a baby and immediately right off the bat you're just yelling at the baby saying, "Why aren't you at work right now?" It's like, what the fuck are you?
Right.
So that's now your normal. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, Sleepy, go ahead. We have about, I don't know, about 20 minutes. I'm okay with that. If you go ahead.
Do you have anything to say?
Yeah.
I was going to say, because I also have autism or Asperger's or whatever you want to call it.
On the spectrum.
I was introduced to it the first time as it's levels. There are people who are into it more than others.
I love that.
Oh my gosh,
on the spectrum. I have to keep saying on the spectrum.
One thing I noticed with people who have it is they have a hard time doing certain tasks, or they're more difficult to do.
Yeah.
And I've done this personally. I do things and then I get caught up at this one thing and it throws everything off and I don't want to do it.
Yeah, you see, it's that. So what I've been around it my entire life. My brother, Jesus, it's like they attract to me. But from what I've experienced, it seems like, because the way I have got Zach, my roommate, to not, do that, you kind of have to slow yourself down, and it's okay. It seems like Asperger's.
We don't learn how to do that.
It's properly. Like you think about one thing and you're great at one thing. So like when Ben, fuck it. When Mr. Producer got his job, I knew he was going to be good at it right off the bat, because I said, "Hey, dude, all you have to do is read this script over and over and over and over and over." But then if you introduce, variables, we'll call them variables, strange things that, you're not used to, your brain gets overwhelmed. So I see that overwhelming behavior a lot, or overwhelmingness a lot with anyone with that being on the spectrum.
So an example of that would be like, if I don't have an official doctor's appointment scheduled, it's all in writing, they've confirmed everything.
Oh, you in time. Tell them about time.
Right. So then I get all these different variables. So like, if I'm waiting for someone to pick me up, I love how, a Lyft or Uber app shows you like, hey, this is how far they are. Mm-hmm. They're this many minutes away. They're on their way. They're not like busy doing something before they come pick you up, because I've noticed that on there too. I'll see them parked at like a gas station, which I get, they need a refuel, but they might take too long. But for me, it's like, if I don't know what kind of variables are in play, then it's unpredictable, and then it's like, oh well,
right there, you said it.
Yeah, if
autism doesn't like
unpredictability. Yeah, they've said actually when I was diagnosed, they said this is the only thing they said. That my parents, apparently they didn't bring me into the room, but anyway, what I heard outside the door, because I was smart enough to listen, they're like, look, he's going to struggle with unpredictability, because that's what it is. We're so unaware at first that we're not even aware of the basic stuff.
You know how people say as rudeness, you say closed-minded.
Right.
You're closed-minded. So imagine being closed-minded, but you don't mean to be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's really...
You come off as rude.
Exactly. It comes off, and people that don't interpret it correctly think you're just a dickhead. But that's why I said, so if you want to work on that, I can't tell you what doctor, but what I've seen from from Mr. Producer, Zachariah, what I've seen from
Benjamin Jacobs,
my female friend, Jose.
You were talking about
Benjamin Jacobs, sure. Yeah.
I don't know why you keep forgetting his last name. But
shut up. All right.
Or BJ. Call him BJ.
Because we don't care about him anymore.
Yeah.
BJ.
BJ is gone. He left the home.
But all these. It's just what I've noticed is, because I have to be surrounded by it, so I have to deal with it. And the reason I figured this out is because I didn't want to have to deal with this like hostility or this like manic behavior. So I just told Zach, and I told Mr. Producer, I told everybody, just look, let's both just slow down. I'll slow down with you. I'll shut up. Just what do you want to do? What do you want? You know what I mean? Like what's going on right now? Like what's your brain thinking about?
Because when people interpret that as being rude or not listening,
because you have a manic being like me, I have to deal with mania and ADHD and OCD and trauma. You have to. If you can't process, so yeah, I mean,
mine's,
slow down. I guess is all I'd say. Slow down. Stay away from drugs.
Mine is I have to deal with health issues on top of mental health. You know what I mean? Like it's just an extra load that you have to deal with. So it's like
stress. It's extra stress. It brings stress. Then you get wet hair.
Right, and so that's why I'm like, hey, I'm glad I'm going down on insulin. This needs to happen so I can no longer have not care per se, but no longer have to manage.
Hey, a little side note. I've been hitting this the whole time and like. No wonder it hasn't been working.
Wow.
Just shut up. Just shut up. That's funny. Oh, man. I'll tell you later, Sleepy. That was stupid. I had a very stupid moment now.
He went to a vape shop and bought a new vape.
Okay, again, why are you... I told you no.
What? I'm just saying, you went to a vape shop. Oh.
Fine, whatever. I vape, sure.
Yeah.
Now if my parents listen, yeah, I vape, whatever. Actually, my mom already knows. I don't care.
I know my parents.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
You can smell it.
I'm 34.
Hey, you can smell it.
Cat out of the bag.
It smells like strawberry banana in my room.
It's delicious. Yeah, no, all right, so I'll go and tell him. I mean, the cat's out of the bag.
But,
so this whole time I've been sitting here hitting this, and I'm like, man, something's wrong. I look down finally, and I look at Ben. I'm like, Ben, no wonder it hasn't been hitting. And the the plastic's all covered up, and the plugs in, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm an idiot. But anyway, Sleepy. I don't know how much more content because we can cut him off or do you want Sleepy? You have anything else for us? Because you had a good point.
So
I was gonna say, you said you were apologizing for talking over me, and I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm a really good listener. It's one of the pieces.
He is. Do you notice that? Do you notice he is?
You are. Yeah.
Sometimes.
No, yeah, you are a good listener.
Need somebody to listen to them. That's the thing.
Right.
That's what I've been saying this whole time since you've known me, my man.
And no one listens to.
And
people.
I got to work on that.
No one listens to people on the spectrum, and it's like, why? Now I know why, but it's like people sometimes don't see past that, like your unconditional urge to present being rude or being awkward. Like you just present it. Sometimes you don't even think about it, and you don't mean to, and it just happens.
No, that hit really well.
Like there's situations where I'm in control. I'm not going to act like that, but then it just happens.
Yeah. Yeah. And the real key is, look, you're already way ahead of the curve. First of all, the fact that you're doing what I can't do. My manic behavior, my ADHD, I talk over people all the time, and I try so hard. It's something I have to think about all. But the fact that you're actively listening, excuse me, the fact that you're already thinking about these ideas, I would.
Is
great.
Man,
excuse me. Yeah.
Is great at your young age.
It sounds like as far as you go, it doesn't. Just keep doing what you're doing and see how it goes. Because
think about it, I didn't approach this until I'll be 25 soon in January. Like it's crazy.
I'll be 35 in March.
You're learning about this, and you're
doing
17.
Shit. He's doing shit that I learned about. Like my brain didn't click till 30 or something.
And also another point with spirituality is it explains that even people who are younger than you are turning out to be a little bit more smarter.
Well, if they're first of all, more smarter. Good job.
More smarter, more intelligent.
But that's because they're listening. They're paying attention. There's actually no study that shows.
From a spiritual side of things, that's where you came across the past lives. But what it is maybe some information is leaking through to where unconsciously you already have somewhat of a leg up. So maybe that's a sign, like you were saying when you had to go through levels. I think that it's working. So you're slowly learning. You might have to give it another couple lifetimes,
he's doing what everyone doesn't do. He's learning.
But you're doing what you're supposed to. So just give it time. Yeah. I learned late.
How old are you again? Sleepy, you're 17?
Yeah, he's 17.
16 going on 17.
No, 17 going on 18.
17 going on
17,
18.
17 going on 18. So you're right there. Yeah, you could have learned it when you were 16, but you're right there. You're perfect.
I didn't learn shit.
I'm talking to him. So you're perfect. You're ahead of where I was. So just keep it up.
You're way ahead of the curve.
Shoot me some information because we're dealing with the same stuff. And we have a similar perspective. Just it's slightly different, which I get it. It's just I'm more science-based rather than more spiritual-based, but it still kind of links. So, yeah, go ahead.
There was one thing I learned about autism the other day, and I was like, this is why I do this, and this is why I find joy in this. So
Right.
I learned that the autistic norm is people mimic other accents, and that is the autistic norm. And that is why I often accidentally go into an accent saying certain words or certain phrases.
yeah.
So okay.
No, I noticed
No,
that. I
hold
noticed
on.
that this is a real life.
No, hold on,
okay.
hold on. So first of all, it's not only an autistic thing. It's actually just our natural instinct to try to connect to the person next to us. But you're right, with autism, it manifests into a real thing. Instead of thinking it, you then do it, and you think, "Oh shit, why did I
But
do
you're
that?"
unconscious of it.
Yeah, you're just like,
So
"Oh, what?"
right. So when you learn about like we said, intuition, spirituality, you kind of almost get ahead of your autism. So then it's like, because I've been told by many times, if I don't tell you straight up, sometimes people can look at me and not even know. I've been told that many times.
I didn't know he was on the spectrum when I met him.
Yeah.
I figured it out on my own over time.
And so
but,
certain people I just don't tell because I'm like,
Yeah,
they're never going to know.
When you get a parking ticket, though, you obviously tell them, don't you?
Well, it's on my license plate, so at that point they're just stupid. Like, you know, it's just like whatever. But
No, officer, I'm just stupid.
I'll be like, officer, I don't have to identify myself. You see that license plate back there? How about you look that up? You know, that's what you did when you pulled.
Do you know who I am?
No, because think about it. That's what they do when they pull you over, right?
Wait, what is it? Hang on, what?
The need to mask to fit in.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, of course, because look,
Everyone has that.
No. So again, this is not. But I understand what you're saying. It's because when you are already an outcast, of course you have that need to fit in, and then
Right.
you push it further because you don't want to be alone. No one wants to be alone, no matter
Right.
how much they say that.
You might want alone time to yourself,
exactly,
like a break,
exactly.
but you never want to be
But you
truly
always
alone.
want to at least. That's why you want to have that woman or man next to you at the end of the day, where you can just like unload all those thoughts
And
on
so
them.
that's why that's
decompress.
That's why us as energy beings in a physical body. That's why we crave connection because energy has to flow.
Yeah, exactly. You need look.
It's-
I
okay,
absorbed all
right.
of your negativity.
So,
I need
like I
to
was
get rid
saying,
of it.
I've noticed when we talk about people with autism, they try to mimic
Yep.
what they like. I've noticed by learning about Anthony and him giving me advice, I'm mimicking him. I am unconsciously, but now that I'm conscious of it, I don't mimic him to the letter. I still change my behavior, but he has given me advice that he's gone through that has helped me, and so I'm just applying it. I'm not taking it directly from source. I'm taking just
I don't want you to be
no,
me.
right. I'm just taking bits and pieces.
Never be me.
I'm taking bits and pieces that fit what I need to work on, and I'm just applying them.
Hey, first of all, thank you for the random fucking ass kissing. That was awesome.
No, it's not ass kissing. It's just now that you brought that up.
And say it's kind of like when you're doing an assignment and you don't want to plagiarize, so you take the main points.
Yeah.
And then apply it. To
Yeah,
yourself.
there you go. Yeah, make it your own. Make it your own. You add a little flair, and it becomes my paper.
I'm summarizing.
That's how I did all of college.
Yeah, I'm summarizing.
You're summarizing me and becoming you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which you learn in college doing a paper, but you don't apply it.
Exactly. And then
Because you're not taught how to apply it. You're just taught to do.
Yeah, exactly. You're taught to do, not to think.
Right.
You're taught to, children should be, what is it? Seen, not heard? Yeah, that's it.
Seen, not heard.
So you can't ask questions. You can't think for yourself. You have to be seen, not heard. Okay? Just that's the key takeaway from this entire podcast. Don't think for yourself. You have no control over your own body. Oh, if anyone comes in right now, that's a horrible. Yeah, we're kidding, by the way. Go listen to everything else.
But so let's see. So I'd say let's kind of wrap this up.
You want to?
Yeah. I mean, we could keep talking, but
I'm down. Look, you want to talk to him? I don't care.
Okay,
I'll just
so-
go walk around.
so let's see here. So
I'll be listening.
So now that I think about it, I know previously we discussed we thought I had ADHD. I'm guessing what if what you thought was ADHD was either energy transference that I was picking up on, or the fact that similar aspects of autism can relate to people with ADHD.
So that's why I'm still not sure, because here's the thing. The only symptom that you express with ADHD is when you do that thing. And remember when I said there's 3 people that do this.
Right.
And I was trying to find the connection
But
between
that
them.
has to deal with
Hold on,
active-
man. But I want you remember we're
yeah.
talking. We know what we're talking about. He has
Okay.
no idea.
So
what
that-
No, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
So
I was gonna say I have ADHD and autism.
Okay.
yeah. So and those are usually linked very close together. It just happens. Whatever. Who cares? But what I was gonna say is what I noticed. Mr. Producer does. He'll talk to you, and he's so passionate about the topic that you can sit there and ask him questions. You can call him fat and ugly. You can, tell him that his mom just died, and he just keeps talking and like worse than me. It's just he gets lost in it. So it got funny. I was just like, hey, watch this. Me and him, actually, to the other person, there's 2 other people that do this. I told Mr. Producer, while we were on speakerphone with this friend of mine, I said, hey, watch this. And I just started saying the most ridiculous stuff. And she didn't say anything. And she's not on the spectrum, but the other 2 people, him and this other person, are. So I was thinking, is the connection, the spectrum? And then I realized, no, they're missing attention. You clearly have good attention because the way you listen to us. See, I talk over people because I have an issue.
You've learned that already.
No, it's not that I even had to learn it. It sounds like he's gotten the attention he's needed.
Right, or your parents actually helped you out, or
Yeah.
they gave you what you needed.
And so my after I was adopted, my parents were wonderful, but for 6 years I went through physical, emotional, sexual, you name it, and then you have to figure out, oh my God.
Is there something wrong with me?
Of course, that's why I'm acting out. That's why I think these things. That's why I'm doing these things.
See,
and then once you can control it, that's where you're good.
Right. See, with me, it was more of just all my health issues, because not only did I have diabetes, I was getting complications because of the state I was in when I found out. And even when I was getting better, I was still having these complications. And that affected my mood entirely. If my blood sugar was too high, I'd look at you and be like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be involved. I just want to go to bed. Or I don't want to go to class. Or I can't go to class.
The problem is people walk around all day.
The only reason I think I'm getting better is because a while ago, for 3 or 4 years ago, I decided I don't want this negative emotion. I'm going to find a way to not feel it at all.
Yeah. He took control.
Yeah, you took control.
I found a way to get rid of it, but then it ended up getting worse. So I'm trying to bring it back, but
it's See, that's what I would.
Okay, hold on. So just so that maybe we can help him. Maybe we can help him. What is getting worse? What's negative in your life right now? You know what I mean? We got you on the phone. We might as well.
It's not really negative in my life.
Negative. Okay.
I was diagnosed with severe depression and anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah.
What medication do they have you on?
Which means very big ups and very big downs.
What medication do they have you on?
I do not know. All I know is my nighttime medication to get me to
Okay, so first thing you got to do is you got to research what you're taking and understand it, because it might have some negative. Look, that goes back to misdiagnosis and shit like that. He couldn't even tell us the medication he's on. That's bad doctoring.
Because what I did was, when I read my medication, I looked it up and I was like, oh, this deals with heart, this deals with kidneys, because that's what diabetics have trouble with.
The only medications I know that I'm taking is Vyvanse.
Oh, okay.
Vyvanse? Okay.
Clonidine and hydroxyzine.
Isn't Vyvanse a little outdated, or do they still?
Kind of. It's still used.
What are the side effects of Vyvanse? I don't remember. I haven't heard about it since high school.
I do not know.
Okay, see again. All right,
Yeah.
no, that's part. So you got to look into that. You got to check
Right.
out and see what you're putting into your own body.
Because that affects you.
Yeah, I mean,
same thing with emotions. Yeah, you put negative emotions in your body, you're going to have a negative outcome.
Someone offered him heroin. He smoked it, and we said, "What'd you just do? Why are you acting weird?" And he's like, "I don't know.
I don't know.
They said it was good."
Maybe it was this thing.
They said it would make me better.
Right. So now.
No, and it might make you better. I'm just saying, like you gotta. You
need to find that out for yourself.
You gotta research your medication, my man.
Here's what I've noticed with doctors: they prescribe it, but they can't medically tell you how you're going to react to something that they've never put in your body.
They don't know who you are.
Right. That's why they warn you and say, hey, with this insulin, you have to be careful. You have to have, you know...
Doctors are a little sketchy. Like,
so
the pharmaceutical company really got a hook on them.
It depends on how they warn you. So if they're getting a kickback for a certain drug, they're going to push that certain drug, whether it doesn't completely fit with you, but kind of fits with you.
They find what works the best. I mean, they use the studies.
Nowadays, they're trying to find what's right. I've noticed that because we've addressed that issue. Well,
because we're pushing once COVID happened, everyone lashed out, and now everyone's getting sued, and all these medications that we thought were good, we're finding out, dude.
Everyone's speaking back.
And I'm glad I never got vaccinated, dude. I just don't like needles. That was the only reason I didn't do it. I'm glad I didn't.
I was watching Joe Rogan. He was on a podcast.
Oh, you mean his podcast?
Well, I don't know if it was a podcast.
Oh,
okay, maybe.
Maybe
But it was they still played visual, so like it was a video online, but they had microphones and headsets and all.
Cool,
so,
like a podcast.
Yeah, okay, well,
makes sense. Yeah,
okay, I guess there's a bit. Like I said,
we're a low budget podcast.
Yeah, okay,
that's normal.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So they were having a podcast.
Yeah,
he was talking about. He was even talking about conspiracy theories that I was just getting in touch with, and he was giving real world examples. So like he's already touched on energy and how and manifestation and how you and how that works with life. So I even watched that while I was even looking at pure scientific stuff. You know what I mean? And so he has specified it to where you do need to take control of your life. And so when you learn that, I'm watching these motivational videos at work.
Yeah.
And they make so much sense. When I was younger, I'd be like, motivation.
Well, you get inspired a little bit. You get a tear in your eye, and you're like, "Holy shit, I can do this!"
Right, but before I was just like, "Motivate." What's that? Like, okay, I get what it means.
That's what Zach's primary problem was. I had to get him motivated. Then all of a sudden, boom, he did everything on his own.
He had the definition. He learned it in school, but he didn't learn how to do it.
And that's my problem here. I don't have motivation.
You don't have motivation.
All
right, hold on. Stop. So that's important.
Right.
So. That's interesting. I wonder if that's from the medication, because depression. He says he has depression. You said you take medication for the depression?
No, I do not.
Okay. So your lacking motivation might come from depression. That really is a very key. I mean, you watch any video on the planet, you'll notice that.
For an example, even if it's
you don't care, you give up on life.
Even if a family member dies, right? That might not be you're in a constant state of depression. That's just for a period of time.
There's different levels. Yeah.
Right.
I suffer from mild depression.
Right.
Exactly.
Me too.
I'll have those feelings where it's unbearable.
Here's what I've learned. Here's the thing. Now I thought I was genetically just predispositioned to be I'm sorry, what was it?
Predisposition to be what? Depressed?
Yeah, depressed because my dad and my mom both are taking medications for depression and anxiety.
That's possible.
And so I was like,
okay,
that makes sense. But like I said, now that I know what life is, I understand life. I have like almost, I wouldn't say fixed entirely, but I've almost turned down to my depression.
But he might be
this is what we're talking it's controlled.
About.
But
exactly.
Right. But what I'm saying is, yes, some people do need medication.
Exactly.
I'm not saying
he's right. There's two, and I think that's great with the spirituality. He's saying you do have control over your body.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
But if you can't control it, you gotta talk to someone.
Right. Find some way to control it.
You gotta talk to someone. And now, as far as let's see, he said his depression. Are you okay? Do you feel you control it each day? Like, can you go through each day and just at the end of the day be like, all right, deep breath, I'm good? I mean, how does it hit you? You know what I mean? Like, because for me, when I get depression, it's a physical pain in my chest. And I sit there and I just think to myself, okay, deep breath. Like, why am I feeling this? I shouldn't need to feel this. And then I just let it go. I let it pass. I got to sit through that pain. And it can go for a day, 2 days, an hour, 5 minutes.
See, I was so conditioned to that. It was all day, every day.
Like, and you don't even know why it happens.
Right. I mean? And you just feel terrible.
Yeah.
And
I feel like I killed someone, but I didn't.
I hate to say how I've heard this all the time where they're like, think positive. That's all
you can
right,
do.
But what
that's what they're trying to say.
What I'm saying is they didn't explain it enough to where you understood it. You just thought like, oh, I'm supposed to magically just flip a switch and be like, I'm positive. Yeah. What they should have said is...
They stupefied it.
I think what they should have said is find a way to feel positive.
So back to him real quick, because this is important, because we can help someone. So, ow. So yeah, again, low budget podcast here. We just dropped all our equipment. No worries. Hey, at least we don't have like a $400 microphone that we just dropped. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just $1,000 iPad. No big deal.
Oh, my selfish brain went to. I only cared about this little webcam. I didn't even care about your fucking iPad.
Then again, it barely hit the floor, and it has a case on it.
No. So why'd you put it up here? No. Okay. So Sleepy.
Oh, excuse me.
What was I gonna ask you? So actually, let me put it this way. Actually, again, we're gonna use the word manifest. How does your depression manifest itself? You're going about your day, you're cheerful, you're having a good day, you just had sex, whatever, and then boom, it hits. Like when does it hit? Why do you think it hits?
I don't know why I think it is. I think it's just I see somebody, or I see just a hint of negative emotions. It's like, oh,
he's
it's
triggered by it.
I'm just gonna step here and make myself known. I'm gonna play with your emotions and make you sad.
That actually makes perfect sense, because I know we talked earlier and you said you were an empath.
Were you abused? Hold on. So you like to see other? Did you say this? I just want to make sure I heard this. Did you say you, for whatever reason, when you feel this way, you play with other people's emotions and want to see them experience pain?
No.
Okay, so say that again then.
So I said I see a hint of negative emotion in my depression, and my depression comes back and goes, hey, I'm going to play with your emotions and make you sad.
Okay. Yeah, no, but see, that's the thing, is he's it's almost like he's lashing out.
So he...
Were you, hold on, were you ever,
No, I was
never ever, like, no one ever yelled at you, spanked you?
Yes, they have, but that was for disciplining.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Literally, you talk to any doctor today, they call that child abuse. No, so that mentality, it's all patterns. You know what I mean? You can. It was
our previous mindset.
Yeah, exactly. His brain goes to I deserve to affect you because I feel this way.
Like you were saying with triggers, because you said you are empathic. Earlier.
Yeah, and he is. Yeah, absolutely.
And so, like I told you,
That's why he's here.
Like I told you, I didn't know I was empathic in the beginning. So until I've learned all this stuff, I understand I am empathic. So I am going to pick up on those energies a lot more. Not only because I know about them and because I'm able to recognize them more, I'm more aware. But now I learned after the fact that I'm already naturally able to pick them up. Mm-hmm. And so you're like that too. Mm-hmm. And so with autism also, everything is amplified. Mm-hmm. Think of it as you don't have...
Like ADHD, it's no different than ADHD.
Right, you don't have a normal filter, but this filter, it functions normally, but only in a certain aspect when it deals with communication. But that's a huge part of the filter that the brain doesn't recognize, and it just happens.
It's communicating. It's just like when he's talking about putting on an accent and getting triggered and wanting to exploit someone's emotion. These are all communicative, that disconnect that autism has, where you just don't have the ability to connect because no one's giving you that voice, that chance to give your voice.
They're not listening to your perspective, so they can better.
So you have us, Sleepy. That's for sure. You have us. Yeah.
But you
see that everywhere. If you do notice though that if you can't get a grasp on your depression, if you can't locate the origin of it, and you think it just is going to keep happening, and it is that right there. If it starts to affect your life, that's when you need to go get help, okay?
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Like it's just, and I think you will. I think if it happens, I think you will. You're a smart dude.
So, with my depression, it was a feeling. It wasn't. Yes, it started in the chest, but it was. It was
sick, horrible.
It was an all over body feeling for me. Like my entire body would either feel sick,
just disgusting,
or disgusting, weighed down. And I've noticed I will even get that feeling when when I'm in contact with a negative person. When I'm in contact with...
Well, they're provoking negative,
right. Like my mom, I notice it so much because...
So I'm saying stay positive, and it'll make everyone else positive. Then they'll be positive, then other people will be...
But here's the thing, I've noticed the environment where I live in, I have to be extra positive to outbalance what I'm getting fed back. You know what I mean? Because all she is negative, and it's like, I love you. You're
my mother.
I want to learn about you, but You want
to understand.
I
I have that
understand
need to
you.
care. You
Right.
gave birth to me,
But
but you won't let me.
But you won't.
Yeah,
You
you
won't
don't
connect with
care.
me. Yeah.
She doesn't care. That's
You-
the big issue.
You know,
She
you
doesn't care.
you won't connect with me.
That's a big problem.
You won't care. All you care about is your daughter.
Yeah. She.
Like-
Oh, so tell her this. I
Okay.
don't. Can I just?
No, I'll tell her.
Of
Okay.
how you're just.
So
needed a daughter.
Yeah. Here's a base. So here's what happened.
This is how useless this man is, by the way. Just to his mother, to his own mother.
Yeah,
This
to
is
my
how
own
useless he is.
So in the beginning, it was just I want a kid. So they had a boy, whatever, and then after me, she
right off the bat said what? I want a. Daughter.
A boy, no.
Daughter. Oh,
no,
she
no,
did want
boy.
one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But at the time, if it's a girl at first, whatever. But at first, she wanted a boy or just a child.
A kid.
A kid. She didn't really care because the first time. So she got a boy. She was like, I'm happy, whatever. And then then she wanted a girl after me, but instead she had my brother. And then she tried again and finally got a girl. Now, when she finally got my sister, she treats my sister. She puts her on like a pedestal. Like she is as perfect as her. You know me. Yes, I've struggled. I've gone through some things, but since she knows about them, she will bring them up, even when I'm trying to communicate to her that yes, I'm doing this wrong. Yes, I'm learning. Please relate to me. But she's like, oh no, well you did X, Y, Z during this time, so I almost don't believe you. Or she holds me down to where it's like, even though I'm right and I know she's just butchering me for no reason, that like she just needs to understand me more, and she doesn't because of because she
she doesn't care. She doesn't want
it's value.
to understand.
She has to see value in you.
Yeah.
So like for perspective,
and to her, value is things, objects, things she wants.
So like I see this with my stepdad and my mom. My mom, even though my stepdad is a truck driver and he's gone all the time, she's still willing to stay married to him, even though her original issue with my dad was not spending enough time, which was her fault. She thinks because since he's very profitable with a truck driver, he makes a salary that's livable, obviously. But because he provides financial support well enough, she's okay with being disconnected with him. Even though, yes, they call all the time. But I remember that was a huge issue with my dad and her. And they were working jobs where they could come home and see their kids. So it's like, I don't get it. It's, for her, I guess it is. If you don't suit what she wants, she's going to ignore you. But back to the value thing, so you get a more perspective of where I'm at. Even though I was born first, and I should be the most respected because, I try to help my siblings when they go through
It's not about, see right there, don't go that far.
Okay, not like I'll hide my, you know what I mean, just she doesn't hold me to just a basic level of respect.
You keep talking about it, let's wrap it up. The point is, she doesn't see you as her son or a human being.
Right. Yeah.
She sees you as this this mechanism of you can clean this, you can fix that, you can watch these dogs. There's no, and so you are trying to even right now as you're talking about it, you're justifying. You're trying to put it together.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, you need to get away from that woman because she doesn't care about you.
Yeah.
And she has that parent effect because she is your mom.
Right.
So you care. You do. You care. You want your mommy to love you. Everyone wants their mother to love them and their father to love them. And you don't get that. So, and it's not even just getting it. You're getting the negative, like the opposite. You're getting pushed away, used, abused. It's beyond ridiculous. Oh, by the way, I just want to say, Sleepy, actually, I'm going to ask both of you guys this. So I showered this morning because, this motherfucker's sitting right next to me. I didn't want to be offensive. I put on deodorant and all that. I'm telling you, man, I'm starting to smell again. Like, do you ever just perspire? You know what I mean? Like, I've always sweat a lot. You know what I mean? Always.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Me too.
I get how you feel, yeah.
What'd you say?
Sometimes, I said I get how you feel, yeah. Like sometimes it just you put deodorant on and then it just wears off.
Yeah, right. It didn't even matter. It was gone. Like it smelled good for a second.
I also wanted to let you know, producer, that I've seen this pedestal thing before. I listen to Reddit and I listen to a lot of people like sharing their problems because they need something. And this situation has happened so many times where one of the siblings, just because they're like male or female or
Right.
or like they have some kind of
I'm lost.
disease. They're put on a pedestal and they're showered with love, and then the neglect happens.
Right.
And they only want you because you can do something for them.
Right.
not
And,
because
yeah,
you're a
and she
person.
Well,
because
duh.
just
Alright.
think about it. No, I'm
Yeah,
okay.
go
So
ahead.
you know how most parents would say, okay, look, you're done with college. We'll let you live here for like a year for free, let's say, and then after that, if you stay longer,
Why are you looking at me? Look
or,
at
you know, or they might say after that, you know, if you stay longer, we'll charge you rent. Like they'll give you a chance to save so you can move out, right?
Yeah, right. My
So-
cousin just said you
yeah,
listen to Reddit. Shut up, Chris.
So,
He said, "Do you taste?"
a prime of example of this is when I was done with college and I needed like a year just to get my shit together, right? Just to get a job so I can have money, so I can save, move out, because I wasn't able to do that in college. Immediately, as soon as I moved out, she charged me rent, and I was like, well, I get that, but wouldn't you want to give me time to, if I have the potential already to move
So
out?
basically, all you're doing, look,
Like,
right
do-
now you're ranting right now.
Okay,
You're
so-
doing what I'm doing. You tell me to shut
Okay,
up when
so-
I rant. You're ranting.
All right, so basically to the point, I feel like she never gave me a chance to get that
Okay, cool. Still ranting.
that leg up, you know.
Blah blah blah. Your mom sucks. All right,
So-
look. I want to cover on what he just said.
Okay.
I want to cover this pedestal, and he said using other people. First of all, that's normal. Again, I keep explaining this to people. People use words like, they're scared of words like narcissistic, selfish. What was the other one? Fuck, we just had this conversation last night.
Stupid,
No, stupid makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, stupid exactly. Stupid means you just haven't learned yet.
Right, but it's such a negative
But it's such a,
connotation. People are like, oh, you they think
so
you don't
so
mean it.
anyway, so this whole concept that people have that being selfish is bad. No, it's there's a line. Okay, everyone, there's what?
A spectrum. There's a spectrum to everything.
Well, no, but really, think about it.
There
It's
is,
just this simple. Everyone needs to be selfish to live, because if you're not, the word is selfish, meaning for the self-ish, like that's me. Now, the line that you cross is when it affects other people's lives. But dude, I'll tell you this: use whoever you want to use as long as it doesn't hurt them. Smash balls. Yeah, my cousin said. Oh, and smash balls. Don't. Yeah. So use people and smash. Again, good points today, right? We're giving good messages.
Right.
What is it? What was the other message we gave? That was really important. You gotta not care about other people.
Yeah, you
what was
gotta
it?
you gotta care. You
Mental
have
health is
okay.
important.
Yeah.
Get help
Yeah,
when
you.
Wait, hang on. He remembers.
Okay,
what
go
is
ahead.
it?
Mental health is important. Get help when you need it. and
No.
take care of
See,
yourself.
no. The point was mental health is no. It's not important. You got to take those drugs. You got to make sure that you really get into those heavy. Exactly. And then, as my cousin said, you got to make sure you smash balls. Obviously. Now, now where the hell were we?
Okay.
We're actually getting at an hour and 51 minutes. I mean, it's
wow.
I'm down to keep talking.
So
You know what I mean?
let's
I don't
see.
care. Yeah.
So I would say all just.
Ooh, he had
Okay.
some brown sugar last night.
So dealing with
Interesting.
all these issues in life. Back to spirituality.
Yeah, back to the point. Yeah, right. Back to the
so-
fucking
Back on intuition. It's so amazing how the way spirituality describes intuition is it's already like we said, it should already be an ability that you have, but they explain it as it's more of once you're in more control of it, it's more of a or more in tune with it. It's more of a psychic ability because it's been developed, but it's so unconscious that it's almost it's like a subconscious mechanism that you develop.
So I just want to really point out real quick, because we do have a new viewer here, and he
Okay.
happens to be related to me. He's going to sit here and hear the word spirituality, but I want him to rewind and listen to the juicy fun part, because it's not what you think. I'll put it that way, my man. And also, you know what? I'm going to leave this podcast with his, what do you call it again? Signing off.
Oh, yeah.
What did we say last time? What did I say? Busted till... What did I say?
But wait,
What did I say? What
bust
was
it till you relax.
Sleepy, what was it? Blast till you relax. That's
Yeah.
right. Blast till you relax.
Bust it till you relax.
Bust it till you nust it. Not I don't know for you. Tonight
no.
I'm just gonna smash balls, dude. Yeah, go home and smash balls. It's healthy. It's good for you. Yeah, go smash balls. There you go. Anyway. So spiritual. It still baffles me. I know there's a science behind it. I know that's how people that's just, and it's actually a really healthy thing because they don't
it's a happy medium. Just think about it.
Yeah.
It takes two different perspectives. It takes religion
Yeah,
and science
yeah.
and says, look.
Well, no.
No,
It's
hold
not
on,
religion.
let me-
Those are three different things. Spirituality, religion, science.
Right,
They're
right.
all the same thing.
But what I'm saying
Trying
is,
to explain something you
I'm
don't
talking about,
understand
I'm
and
talking
being
about
comfortable with
Let
it.
me finish. I'm talking about
Let me finish.
I'm talking about the perspective of, of believing in this.
Yeah.
The perspective of it is it takes both filters, both religion and science, and merges them together, filters out what doesn't make sense, puts together where the connections are, where it flows, like I said, and puts it in a way to where you're like, hey, this makes more sense.
Essentially what you're saying is it's like you pick up the Bible because like every smart person knows, the Bible does have a
Right.
lot of great anecdotes.
Right, of course.
And so you pick up the Bible and you're like, oh shit, yeah, I shouldn't kill my neighbor, fuck my neighbor,
shouldn't cuss.
steal from my neighbor, shouldn't cuss. I'm sorry. Shouldn't do all this, but angels exist. And then 3,000 years later, we're like, all right, look, this is a good idea, but this whole what's that? Because the story behind it is it's just a story, but it's an awesome story. But they're called what's the language that angels speak? But it's just a fucking story, and so you take out the angels, you take out the bull stuff. Whatever. I'm trying to stop. Sorry, whatever. But you take all of that, and you're like, all right, here's some key ingredients to how life really it just makes us feel better. You know what I mean?
So yeah, they're more like.
It makes other people happy too.
They're more like legends, not really legends, but legends or fables or something.
They're called what was that? What was that with the stork? Remember the stork and then the rabbit in the hair, or the rabbit in the Aesop's fables.
Fables. Yeah.
Aesop's fables.
Fables. So they're fables that are yes, you're supposed to learn important information from them.
There's a message.
There's a message, but not everything in there is like.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, don't take
What
it
it says,
literally.
yeah,
That's
don't-
when you get those
yeah.
crazy people who are
Right.
like, "Oh, it's rapture." Okay, sure,
And so
whatever.
and so that's what my mom does. She grew up in a religious household, and then when she had her own family, it wasn't like that. So she doesn't have her control.
Yeah,
Yep. And then when my parents divorced, she had all the control. All right, we're gonna go
so
to.
she's right where she wants to be.
We're gonna go to
Yep.
church. All you kids are gonna go to church. We're gonna do this because this is what I want.
Your mom went to church?
No, like she wanted to take us to church, and I told her, I was like, Mom, I don't believe in this. You've heard this from Dad before. He's told you he doesn't believe in this, but he respects you enough to not bring it up, not force the issue. But she is, and it's like I get where you're coming from, but I tell her like I'm not a bad person, so I don't see like why you're offended by me not being religious.
Yeah, I believe. No, see, I had to go to church too, and I was an acolyte, dude. In fact, my cousin can tell you. I mean, Sarah.
Like growing up, learning about it, I was just like, this,
smash balls.
I'm just sitting here like this makes no like this has
No, exactly. And when you force that kind of and that's where parents think they're trying to help. They care so much because they had their own problem.
Right.
I finally learned so much about my dad. I'm not going to talk about my dad over the but like. You finally understand why they're pushing that on you, and you realize, okay, they didn't have this, and now they're trying to, but they throw it at you at like 300%.
Right.
And so now I don't believe in God at this point in my life, yet I'm an acolyte. I'm an angel in a fucking parade. I have to stand up and sing and sit next to the pastor, and Jesus is everything.
My parents made, my mom made my brother and my sister be an acolyte, and she's like, oh. Because she also likes to brag about status, especially in church. She'd be like, oh, well, my kids go to youth group, and,
I'm sorry.
And,
I'm getting distracted by my cousin being a...
So, she also thinks about status, even in church, where in church you would think, hey...
Oh, and you got to dress that, you know what I mean? You got to have the shirt and tie. It's got to be buttoned. Got to tuck in your shirt. That's very important. Tuck in your shirt.
But here's how she got away with this. She didn't care how she...
By the way, fuck tucking in my shirt unless I'm at work in a professional...
She didn't really care how she dressed because it was the weekend. So she dressed kind of nice, but not like that official. So she went to a relaxed church where she could kind of wear what she wanted, but she was still serious about go to church. Oh, we're gonna have a youth group. Oh, we're gonna do this, do that. And it's like, Mom, I've told you, I'm past that age where I've already gone through this. I've looked into it. I don't believe believe in it. Why do you want me to go?
Because you
And
need
then,
it.
you know-
Because you need it, man. You need it. Obviously,
to her.
it's prevalent. It's
so then
part
we,
of life.
So then we try to compromise, and she's like, "Oh well,
By
go,
the way,
go every other week."
When I said I sat next to the pastor because they do that shit. Oh, that's funny though because get this.
Oh.
No, he's gonna love this story. So, and this is true. He would have children's time. Michael, his name was Michael.
Oh, small talk. That's what
The years
they
was
call it.
called small talk. It
Yeah.
was children's time, and we'd all come up and sit with the pastor, and he'd ask you questions. And honestly, if you think about it on retrospect, it really is creepy. But I mean, I understand the message if it was honest. I hope it was. But excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm having a little indigestion here. But he said, sat on the pastor. Ha 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 ha.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's funny though. He doesn't know this, and I actually blocked it out, but I was sexually abused, and I remember that entire story. Again, when we get into the real mental health issue, I'm down to talk about all that shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down to talk about everything, because I remember everything, and I understand it now, and it's so important for people
See,
to...
that's the thing now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sleepy. Hi. Ah!
So
I was gonna say I wanted 2 points to bring up.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to spirituality, but I wanted to say before that I was put in like a Bible camp as like a kid.
Oh,
and I was
okay.
raised on
Kinda
the
forced, yeah.
like Christian religion.
He's the opposite.
I'm
When
trying.
I'm younger,
I'm still
I went
currently
another.
trying to break away and form my own religion, but it's
Right.
hard to
Force
get
that
the
control,
mentality
yeah.
that there is a higher power at play and who's controlling everything.
So he's
Type
so
thing.
immediately. So let me ask you this actually: are you religious now? I bet you he's not.
Not really. I do believe in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
'Cause he
trying
was
to
forced
get
into
into
it.
Yeah.
what I'm trying to learn about different religions like Greek and Norse and
Yeah,
pagan
okay,
and all
okay.
that stuff.
And then
Good.
that's-
It's good to
Yeah.
know. It's great. It's amazing. You know what I mean? It's so much to. It's just take away the right bits of it. By the way, we were just mumbling to ourselves. I literally called it. I was like, I bet he's not religious now. I bet you were pushed away. You were forced into it. So
Yeah,
you
that's
know
what
he had
started-
he had no control
Right.
over his own life.
That's how I started too,
Yeah,
because I had
yeah.
no control, and then I went to church in high school, and then I was like, wait, I controlled myself to where I, said I'm
Yeah.
not going to do this anymore. But it's taken me so long to actually do research in it
It's so easy. You know?
because for me it wasn't interesting at the point. I just knew I hated it. I'm not going to research it.
Yeah.
And then when I was actually curious about it, that's
Yeah.
when my autism kicked in, and I started looking up conspiracy theories. And then that
weird
yeah.
shift, but it's awesome.
But it worked.
I'm down. I
It
want to learn.
worked.
I want to learn.
It worked. And
I never got into that.
And the first thing I learned was about life, and then after that, I looked into aliens, and things I was wondering about, parallel universes. It just branched
Dude,
out.
I can't wait till we get to talk
Right,
about
right.
Resident Alien. And,
Oh yeah, but
I was
Go ahead.
gonna bring up the topic back to like spiritualism.
Yeah, go ahead, go
and
ahead.
empaths, and I was gonna say because I believe that ghosts and spirits exist. Yeah,
Okay.
I do
See-
that. And
Alright.
Okay, yeah.
empaths are part of that. Like
What
empaths
say it
can
again?
see,
Sorry.
like,
So you believe that spirits, ghosts could exist, and what?
and like that empaths are like somewhat of a part of it. That they can sense the
Because-
emotions
because
of
they're-
Let him finish.
what
Let everyone
is
finish.
feeling. Yeah.
because essentially, what are ghosts? They don't have a physical body; they're energy.
That's such an.
How do you measure sometime if a ghost doesn't present yourself physically enough? How do we know they're there? We read their vibration.
yeah.
We read their if it's warm or cold in the room, how they affect
I'll tell you this.
how they affect the temperature, the
my
energy.
theory on the afterlife. So you don't believe in God, right?
Right.
But I now found some kind of higher power, right?
Right.
But I don't believe in ghosts. Because and here's just my theory. Again, and look, and if someone gives me evidence that I think, if people really are, first of all, either they're crazy or they are seeing something, and if they are seeing something,
They manifest it in a different way.
My theory is it could just be something slipping through a parallel universe.
Yeah,
You know what I
okay.
mean? We had an image.
Different dimension.
And again, it goes back to you will blow your mind if you listen to Dr. Drew about the idea of God. And I've been thinking of the same shit since I was like in high school. But I don't know. I don't believe in the afterlife. I think once you're dead, that's it.
See, that's similar to me. I don't believe in a heaven or a hell.
Yeah, I mean,
in my perspective, there is no heaven or hell. Technically, this earth, what you're experiencing when it comes to the negative side, that's like your hell. Your heaven is when you experience the positive side.
Yeah,
So
you manifest it as a place you're going to go because you're judging yourself.
Right. So if you manifest yourself as saying, I believe in this higher power, he controls me. If I do this, I'm going to hell. If I do this, I'm going to heaven. So then you end up living that way. If you think of it as I can control everything, I am control, you can make this world your heaven. You don't have to think you have to travel to some place and go through some trials.
He said, hang on Sleepy said he was interested in different kinds of religion. You know, there's one that always
yeah, that's how I was too.
Yeah. No, this one always, because I'm selfish, I'm narcissistic, I'm not a bad person, you know what I mean? But I know that I manipulate. But if you want to know a little story, it always, I loved it. It just, the story of Osiris and his job was to measure so you die.
He judges you.
You go to Osiris. No, he does not judge you. You go to Osiris. He puts a feather on a scale, and then the other side is empty. But your guilt is there. So you sit there. He questions you. Mm-hmm. Asks you how you feel about, the outcome. How do you feel?
Right.
If you don't feel any guilt, I mean, dude, you're good. You're good to go.
Right.
So, and honestly, I love that because if that's true, let's just hypothetically say there is an Osiris and that's how it's weighed.
Right.
Bro, I'm going to whatever happy place there is because everything I've done, good or bad, not only do I either don't care or I did it for the right reason, or I learned from it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I have no guilt. I'm a happy motherfucker. I have a little, there might be a little toward my parents, but I wouldn't go to hell for it. But, just stupid shit that you do as a kid.
Well, because if you think about it, back then in early religion, they considered dancing a sin.
Oh, yeah. Well, because you know what dancing is. Remember we were talking about this.
It was free. It was originally just free expression.
No. Dancing is the biology's way of saying I want to have sex. Remember peacocks? Peacocks. You look at peacocks and they start exploding these beautiful colors, moving around, and pigeons and birds.
But what I'm saying is back in religion, we viewed it as something wrong. No, as we're not controlling you. Because think about it, dancing was about free expression.
Free expression. That's
free expression
interesting.
During that time. It was all about free expression, about going away from being controlled.
Hey, by the way.
And so that's why women mostly dance, because they were highly controlled.
They were controlled.
Yeah, they were not the dominant party.
So, by the way, on the topic, if you want to throw, and this is true because I did it. I had a customer call me probably last week, and I didn't do anything about it till yesterday. But he was just talking to me. We were just getting into it, and we were talking about stuff just kind of on this topic, and how it's important to be, kind and good. But he goes, you know what'll throw off your parents? And I was like, what? He goes, go ask your parents what you can do for them today. And he said, I bet you they will give you very confused responses. So I did it. I finally did it. And I'll tell you this. The reaction, it was just incredible, dude. It was like I lit up there. And you know what they said? They were like, I don't need anything from you. I just want you to have a good day, And they were like, thank you so much for asking. But that's what I'm saying. And especially to your parents, because we've grown up this whole time, like expecting to get stuff and expecting someone will cover our asses. So you throw them off today, Perry, whatever the hell your name is, Sleepy. You throw them off today, and you toss them one of those, and you're gonna be in the right, they're gonna be. But really, because we never thought about that growing up. We were kids. Literally, I'm saying we, as in me, everyone. We don't even think about it that these people are putting all this energy into you, and you're just like, yeah, I'm doing my thing. Now I'm addicted to heroin, and they're just like, God, I just want to help you. I just want to help you. So you know what? Toss it. Remember that your parents are fucking human too, and go you'll love he was right. Whoever told me that customer was right. It blew my parents away. Tell them both individually. Don't throw like a group text. Don't send it to one. Send it to both. Blow their mind. All right. I'm saying that to everyone. Just blow your parents' mind. What can I do for you today? Yeah, that was a trip. Oh man, maybe you should try that on your mom. Well, you do try that on your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't give a shit.
I even had a conversation about cleaning a bathroom that was so stupid. It was like.
Yeah.
She didn't even need to keep fight. She was defending herself, and I was like, look, I can't do it. I'm busy. I'm an adult. Like, you should understand this. I actually have a job where I'm doing something. I'm not at Kroger. Like
I keep forgetting Sleepy's here.
Sleepy.
But, yeah, sorry, man. You're a good listener.
to-
He's such a good listener. We forget he
So-
exists.
Like you were saying, back to
That happens a lot.
He's that dude in the shadows. Yeah, that's that autism right there. You know.
back to the.
I'm that introvert in the corner who's listening.
Yeah, he's the fly on the wall, dude.
See that?
Yeah.
That's how I used to be.
Yeah, no. So, because I think I can tell just from your physical, I'm gonna guess you're kind of ready to wind it down, or are you good to go? I don't know.
What time is it?
Yeah.
It's 3:00. Wow.
Yeah.
So what? We've been on here.
It's
for
2 hours, 8 minutes. I mean, as long as we have content, I don't care.
Okay.
I have nowhere to be. You know. But I was curious what Sleep has been listening this whole time. Yeah. Go ahead, man. What do you got to say? What's going on?
Well, I was just thinking, because I was thinking back to the spirituality thing, and I didn't want to interrupt the topic or anything.
No, actually, thank you for keeping us on topic. No.
Yeah,
That's
go
why
ahead.
you're our what is he? He's our administrator. Yeah, that's why you're administrator. Exactly. Keep going.
I was thinking, what if ghosts, their energy only exists because the universe didn't have the energy to make, like, you know how when you die and you become a ghost?
Okay.
They
Yeah.
didn't have the energy to reuse yours. So you're just left there with nothing to do, and you don't know what's going on.
Okay. So
You
yeah.
have to wait until the universe
I got
can reuse your energy.
I want to explain it again. I'm
so
curious
here,
about
so
that.
yeah, so
I don't know what that means.
you were saying about reusing your energy. You're on the right track. But I think it's
on the right track. What, you're telling me is wrong?
No,
these are all hypotheticals.
No, right. I'm saying no. I'm relating to you. Just so I think what it is it. Yes, you're right about it's the energy is reused or recycled or what it is basically if you relate it back to just general life. They say that. If you have a feeling like you haven't accomplished something,
I have a question for both of you when you're done.
Then you when you die are more likely to manifest or come back as just energy because you're so negative, you're so uninterested in life, but you still want to be here because you didn't find your purpose, and so therefore you're stuck here. You're in like a limbo where some people can tap into that dimension, like we say, there's different dimensions. Some people can tap into that dimension and see you, even though normally, or I shouldn't say normally, but in general, people don't see that. They're not aware of that. They haven't learned that. So then they're like, oh, well, this is, this looks like the person I know. They're in contact with me. I'm scared. They're, a ghost. They're going to do something. But if you notice that ghost or that spirit or energy acts like this, it doesn't act like it's the person. It is the person.
Let me ask you, I have a question for both of you real quick. And this actually might solve I'm just trying to process, like, because what he said, I still don't really understand.
It's your body in a different form.
So let me ask you, the question is, do you guys, I know there's different words for it, do you believe in, well, I guess you do, because you believe in the after, so you believe in a soul and a spirit?
I believe,
Yes.
no, okay.
He said yes, he
does. So, I wouldn't call it a soul or a spirit. Like I said, it's energy. That's all really a soul and a spirit is. You are just energy.
See, I just think of it as we dissipate, man.
Right, because
let some trees get fertilization when I die.
When you die.
Give some fish some fish food.
When you die, there's no spark of life. There's nothing.
Yeah, you're done. You're gone.
There's nothing that considers you are there.
Here's why I can argue.
Because that part of you.
Here, a counter argument. This is why. This is why I don't believe in the afterlife. So. We have a fourth dimension, which is time. And because that dimension exists, we can perceive every moment. We have what we call moments. Right. We have what we call, minutes and things like that. And without that, without our brain, without time...
Without quantifying it.
No, not quantifying it. That's just us explaining it. Without the actual existence of time, we wouldn't even remember we exist. We'd just be dead. We wouldn't have memories of our, that's why we value life. We're sitting there, we remember our childhood, we remember our, the reason we remember is because time exists. That is the definition of the fourth dimension. And because we have that, our body, this existence, we work with it. Obviously, it's a cosmic scale. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like trying to explain 1, 2, and 3 dimensions to a child, and they're like, "Whoa!" But I just see it as look, we get to experience and remember and all this shit, but once you're dead, your brain just stops working. All right, all those things it was supposed to do, it's no longer doing it. And look, I mean, it's not even like sleep. You just don't exist anymore.
So
you know what I mean?
So
that's it.
Here's something. How do you explain reincarnation then? Because
I don't believe in it.
See, I didn't believe in it at first until it was explained to me in this perspective.
I see a biological description of when you get.
So back to like what I said.
You asked me what? Hold on. You asked me, what do I think about reincarnation? I see it as this. If I got ashes, first of all, if I die in a coffin, that's it. My body's stuck in there, whatever. Oh, hey Seth, it's good to see you, my man. Go ahead and listen to the show. You're gonna like this one. I think it's great. It's just it was fun. But as far as reincarnation goes, if your ashes are scattered, you go in the ocean, you go in the ground. Yeah, find your fertilizer for a plant. But no, I don't believe in now I'm a new person. I do love the idea. Like I love that thought of that level system you said. Like it's a video game.
Right.
I don't believe it. That's not how I see it, but I like it.
So
anyway, go on.
How spirituality interprets reincarnation.
Get close to him. You're talking to me. You got to talk to both of them.
No, I was all the way back there.
He's just slowly. By the way, fucking Sleepy. I don't think he wants you here because slowly he's just been inching away
I had to
from
go
the
take a piss. Remember when I left?
No, I don't remember you leaving.
So, back to reincarnation. So, how spirituality defines reincarnation is simply, yes, you have the physical part, right? Your body, when it's there, it's dead. There's nothing left. Mm-hmm. What goes on is the energy, because like we keep saying.
So you believe in the soul? You believe in something?
Energy doesn't.
That lives on.
Energy never gets destroyed. It just gets changed.
But see, I agree that it exists, but I don't see it as a ghost or a manifestation of
So think of it this way.
Oh, let me boo
So think
you,
of it this way. Since your energy and you're in a physical avatar, remember, this body is not you.
This is your thoughts.
I'm saying from my
your
perspective.
Yeah.
So from this perspective, this body is not yours.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just a tool that you use to interact with other people because you yourself are essentially energy. When your avatar or when your body dies, your consciousness gets transferred. Whether you stay here in an energetic form, like a ghost or a spirit, or you actually what's called ascension, where you ascend and you go to that part where I was talking about where you learn about your past lives or you learn about what you've already experienced because you've forgotten that. Because if you remembered everything, every negative thing that you did beforehand, you would probably second guess yourself all the time. When it's probably just simpler for someone else to come along and explain it to you in a different way so you get an initial grasp on it so you're not confused. Because, if you weighed yourself down from all your past lives of everything you screwed up, when you start over again, you're going to be like, oh, I did that when what if you're not going to be in control.
Hold on. So again, and I don't buy into, it's a fascinating theory.
I was getting sidetracked. But
I just have a question though.
Okay, go ahead.
Doesn't it kind of contradict itself because we're sitting here literally saying that the best thing people can do is learn from their mistakes? But you're saying in this level system of yours, you don't get to remember your mistakes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Because
it doesn't make sense.
Because that part of you is shut off because the other aspect of it is, like I keep saying, I guess I should specify, the negativity of this world, the energy that this world is putting out is not natural. The earth isn't supposed to be dying.
Yeah.
The earth is
you're right. It's just born. Yeah.
It isn't supposed to be dying because we're changing our environment. It should be thriving. We shouldn't have storms, earthquakes. Maybe every once in a while I could see that.
Hey, real quick, Sleepy. Human beings, virus or mammal?
Huh?
Human beings, virus or mammal?
I can see both sides of that.
Okay. Yep.
I'm in the middle.
Me too.
We could be equally killing the earth the more we're around.
Yeah. So you look at. Go ahead. You know what, Mr. Administrator, for fun, look up the definition of virus and then just go ahead and laugh with me. Okay? Literally, you're right.
No,
It is both. I'm with him. It's kind of both.
The Matrix brought this up.
Right, that's where the whole concept started.
And
you know where it came from? Books that the directors read on, they loved Isaac Asimov, who wrote iRobot. They loved, I can't remember. But all those concepts, it's like, yeah, dude, human beings act like a fucking virus.
Yeah, they do.
What did he say?
Like a virus.
We locate, we spread, we use,
what a
and
virus
then we move
does.
on.
What a virus does is it goes into
and then we multiply.
Right, it goes into an unknown environment. It multiplies. It consumes all the resources that it needs around.
Yep.
Doesn't give back.
Doesn't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Destroys everything.
Black, white, red all over. Who cares what color skin you are? Who cares about your sexuality? Oh yeah, you're dead.
We destroy everything. We take everything from our environment. We don't make it last. We kill our environment just like a virus does when it gets into your body. It destroys everything inside of you. So if your body was the earth.
Dude, it's just like alcoholism or drug addiction. You're pumping something into your body that doesn't belong. Your body's trying to tell you, please stop. And you're just like, no, man, I'm good. I'm going to keep going. And when I'm done with me, I'm going to get my friend into it. And then I'm going to get their friends into it. And you know what I mean? That's the human being mindset. It's horrible.
I had a weird thought. Because I was like, thinking about humans as like viruses, wouldn't viruses that give to humans be like nature's way of saying, hey, stop this, stop multiplying?
Well, okay, so close. Okay, look at it like this. It's more like this. It's an organism that wants to live like we all do. But when it goes, see, we don't talk about the fact that it exists outside of the human body. The problem is once it does invade the human body, now it's like, okay, can your body withstand it? How fucked up is your body already? Are you healthy enough to withstand it? So that's when it becomes a problem. Is it's like, hey, you're invading me now. You're on my turf. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but no, it exists in nature. You know what I mean? And it's just like but I see things. It's funny you say that. As a joke, I constantly tell people. I laughed about this and told Mr. Producer, but it's true. There's a hurricane coming toward California, and there's fires all over the place there, and I keep up with my home state, even though I'm glad I'm not there anymore. But it's just I see all these acts as nature balancing itself, whether it's intentional or not. And even homosexuality, it's like, dude, great, you're gay, cool. But it naturally, that means there's more adoptions. That means there's less kids in the system. That means there's less overpopulation.
That's the world balancing itself out.
That's the world balancing itself out. Like,
there's too many people. We're going to create. Yeah. We're going to make
now we have
virus.
gay people and we have fires.
Okay,
and
so all these viruses haven't worked. The humans.
We don't know how to fix this virus, so we get rid of a few. It's a sad story, but we got rid of some people during Corona. Mm-hmm. And the truth of the matter is, it taught us how to deal with it. It taught us a lesson. I think the majority of our population is listening. But no, I just think, I think the world, the universe, there has to be black and white. There has to be good and bad. There has to be. It's nature. Look at a magnet, okay? It's a perfect metaphor. You got north and south right there. Look, right there. Just that easy. North and south connects perfectly. You put south with south, you put north with north, it pushes away. There needs to be a balance. And it just happens. It's just the universe. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. Anyway.
Yeah, you can't think of yourself as, I'm perfect.
I'm good, I'm bad. Right. No, you're just doing really shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can never be...
Okay, I got a question for both of you. Do you guys believe in the concept of evil? Do you think there's such thing as actual evil?
Not evil per se, but more like just the opposite side of... I just believe in negativity. Like, yes, there's an opposite side.
So you're telling me that anyone can become good? I'm just curious, because I believe anyone can become good. But I wonder if evil exists.
So here's how...
Because evil means you can't become good.
Here's how it is. So if you in spirituality, how they describe this is you are not automatically pure good, pure evil. You know, you by going through life, by learning what you need to learn, you might have a negative perspective or an evil perspective.
You decide,
per se, but you can change that by changing your vibration and your energy. Like
your
I said,
perspective.
your perspective or your emotion. Once you change your perspective, then you can be like, hey, I'm not a bad person. I thought I was bad. You know, I was doing these negative things. Hey, I don't need to do that anymore. Now I'm more positive. Maybe I'm less violent. Maybe when you were younger, or maybe you abused a child.
You know what it really is? You look back on your life and you're like, wow, why the hell did I do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it really is that
So
easy. Like what the hell was I doing?
You're not inherently born good. You're not inherently born evil. It just depends on what side you allow.
Yeah, you choose it for yourself.
Yeah.
But you're not answering my question, because evil defines someone or an idea that cannot be good. So I'm asking, do you guys,
then
both
no.
of you,
Then
and Sleepy, you think that anything can be good? Because I believe. I believe.
Actually, now that you mention it, that makes sense because we have those serial killers.
Well, and that's what I think. Like Dahmer, I just watched the show Dahmer.
Right. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, and I just wonder, like, if he just got the help he needed, he'd have been fine. You watch his behavior, and it's like, oh yeah, that's easy. That's just this. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they didn't have that help.
But if you changed it, he wouldn't have gone.
So
out
I believe that
so
evil is an imaginary word that idiots create. Everything has the ability
to change.
To change.
Same with that. Yeah.
And
same
if
with
you
everything
just
else.
believe that, that's literally changing right there.
It's the same with everything else. Yeah. Energy changes from.
Sleepy, what do you think? You think evil exists?
It's the same thing you guys are talking about, but everything can change. You just need to want to change.
Yeah.
You need a reason to change.
Well, a reason helps, but you also a reason gives you motivation. You know, when we're talking about motivation, a reason will push you, but you also have to understand that whether you have a reason or not, maybe it's just a good idea. That is the reason. The reason is to
You also have to want to change.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right there. That's like the goal of my life. I want people to learn that they need to want it.
Yeah, like
and then they'll be fine. I don't even have to talk to them ever again. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm good."
One of our friends is way behind. So just a little backstory.
Yeah.
You know, Anthony, when he came into our life, he was struggling. We helped him.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can definitely tell in our social group, we didn't know how to communicate. We didn't have help, so we were just trying to help him because that's what we thought.
I was going through some shit. I was unemployed. I had,
So
I said, a lot of issues.
So we've been conditioned to just help people, but not help ourselves, because you think, oh well, if I'm trying to help myself, I must be doing something wrong, or you just don't fully understand what's going on,
or they don't care,
right? Or they don't care.
Those
so
thoughts of, if I help myself, I'm being selfish and I'm not helping others.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I'm not
And
doing
so-
what I can.
Yep. And I have that issue too, buddy. Yep.
And so I
I
noticed.
have that issue.
Yep.
I can help other people, but
Right.
I don't want to help myself. I don't want to.
Yep, absolutely. That is
Yeah.
that is what I am dealing with right now, more than you even could understand. I don't give a shit about myself. I only care about other people. So you want to talk about mental problems? Like I said, we'll have a full episode on that, but keep going. Yeah.
So we have a friend who's struggling with this right now, and we've told him over and over again, like, look, these are the exact things we're mentioning that you need to change.
No. What I told him. Go ahead.
Well, we keep giving him examples like, hey, you just need to change your attitude. You just need to
take a look at it this way.
Right.
Like you understand. Like, look, put it this way. This person was screaming the N-word with my window. First of all, you don't do that.
Right.
That's not adult behavior. That's immediately, and he's an adult, so I immediately realized, all right, this is abnormal behavior. And then I started observing him more, and I realized what his problem was. And I kept just offering. I kept saying, yeah, if you want to work on your resume, I'll help you, look at new jobs. And he kept saying, it's this, what is it? What was the word? When he just he thinks everything's your fault. It's nothing's on him. It was my fault.
Right.
He said I didn't let him to his house. Yeah, really, I didn't invite you. Shut up.
When you said multiple times, you're like, hey, all of
you
your
never
friends
offered help.
Well,
you never did this.
Well, there was one day where you're like, hey, all your friends.
Hang on, I'm curious.
Want to change.
He said it. He said it right there. So, and that's what me and Mr. Producer came to the conclusion of, is as much as I would love to help him, he pretends to want help, but he doesn't want help. He's okay with his two jobs that are mediocre as blank.
And his girlfriend's working 2 jobs.
And his girlfriend, and he's a mess, and I want to help him so bad, but he just sits there. All that stuff. So I got him out of my life because look, I have my own problem, and this is important for you too, by the way, Sleepy. If you know
I was told by my mom, you can help people, but just don't let their problem become your problem. You're right. So I was just gonna say it's very important. It's very important. Especially if you're an addict or you have manic, whatever, all this shit. If you know you have those issues, you can't be around other people that have those issues because you remember when you said perfect example. You like pulling off an accent if you hear someone with an accent. So now imagine if you're sitting with someone who's doing, meth and you're like, hey, let's do meth. That's just a normal reaction.
Because you want to connect with them.
Because you want to connect with them. And so I had to kick him out of my life. And he reacted 100%. Would you not say 100%? I predicted exactly how he would respond, what he would say.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just.
It was excuses for no reason.
He was lashing out. He lost control. I think, and I'm gonna keep him out of my life because I think he needs this. I actually talked to Mr. Producer. I said, "Is this wrong to do?" But he has to be in control, and I think it's good that he realizes he can't win every battle. He's not always in control. He needs help. So
my mom.
So he's gone now, and he's ranting. Right? Did he ever message? Did he message you today?
No, because I think I stopped texting him.
Yeah, I mean, he it spiraled and spiraled. It's just like this.
He was saying the same thing over and over again.
Exactly, and you just see and he's like, and then what did he say? He said, "I think Anthony's on fentanyl."
We ended on dead ass, bro. He's getting way too big for his britches. He mentioned that like the day before when we finally thought we convinced him that he needs to focus on something.
The psychology, look, we don't need to go into keep it impersonal enough. But look, the point is when you see behavior like that from an adult, someone who should have been taught that that's not normal behavior,
right? You
need to immediately think, okay, how do I adjust my behavior around them? Are they getting help? And then if they're not, you might just need to either avoid them, or if you want to suggest to them, you gotta be careful. People are dangerous. People like that, what I'm describing, sorry, what's that?
You gotta be careful because if people don't want help, they're gonna take it out on you.
Yep. What did Michael do? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
They'll give you a negative reaction that you didn't think you'd get. You gotta be careful.
Just like I'm not gonna say a name. Just like the third person I was telling you about earlier. She did the same thing. She started. Now she has a drug problem, but she immediately went into out of nowhere. I just looked at my phone and I had 18 messages, and this is common with methamphetamine. Is it starts with the paranoia, then it leads to voices, then it leads to
right.
It's scary. And so all of a sudden I look at my phone and it's stop trying to control. All I did was send her our podcast, by the way.
Right.
Stop trying to control my life. You're acting like my ex-boyfriend. And I was like, and so I said, okay, I understand. And then when I said, okay, I understand, and I just said that to cool her off because I knew what was going on, because she's trying to get rid of the dude that blah, 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 blah. But because I know she's, and then she goes, oh, okay, I see. You understand. Now you're going to ghost me. And I'm just like, what the hell is this behavior? And then I realized, oh.
Then she turns defensive.
Yep.
Right.
And immediately, you're the enemy and you're the problem. That comes from addiction. It doesn't matter what the addiction is, whether it be attention or drugs or
it all stems from something
it's addiction. Trust me, that's addiction.
But addiction can manifest itself from
anything. You can be addicted
right.
to TV shows. I'm addicted to TV shows. But it's a good addiction.
If you're not paid attention to, or if you feel like you're
it hurts and damages your life or other people, that's when it becomes a problem.
Right. So if you feel disconnected, and they say addicts in general, if they feel disconnected, you know, the reason why they keep going back to that drug is because it gives them.
They think
they think they're happy with it because they're like,
because that's what it's doing. It's producing that chemical that they should have naturally that they don't. But the problem is the side effects are killing them.
It's too much. It's not the right amount.
All they have to do is go to a doctor and get the right, you know what I mean, chemical balance of I'm sorry, Sleepy, go ahead.
I was gonna say because it's giving them the I don't remember what it was called, but it was telling the brain it's like a reward system.
Because that's how you.
Well, no, it's exactly
and they need it.
So it's not even just a reward system, Sleepy. It's actually much simpler than that. It begins, so it leads into a reward system. But what it starts off as is someone does something. You know what? I took my first shot, right? I've never drank before.
Right.
I took a shot of vodka. Now all of a sudden, you know, those endorphins are kicking in. I'm feeling better. My ADHD has calmed down a little bit. I'm not stressed out as much. I'm a little more social. So now you're thinking, now, and it's true. Maybe there was something in that your brain was missing out on.
It's just not the right.
But
source.
it's not the right source. So then you keep doing it, and like you said, the reason it becomes what did he call it?
An addiction.
No.
Or a habit.
When you get a present.
A
reward.
A reward.
And the reason it becomes a reward system is because once your tolerance builds up, you get excited. Once you pound down like a whole bottle of vodka, you're like, yeah, baby, now I'm finally feeling it. That's when it becomes that's when they're being, I mean, no one's beyond help, but that's serious alcohol.
Dopamine or something like that?
So I'm saying, say it again.
Wasn't it called dopamine or something like that?
Well, there's a lot of
the main two that affect emotion.
There's dopamine. There's dopamine, epinephrine,
and serotonin.
No, and serotonin. Yeah. There's epinephrine. And you know what? If you're curious about those chemicals, one thing you should look up because and yes, I've done it, but I will never do it again. Look up MDMA or ecstasy or what Molly. Look up the chemicals that it produces in your brain. The reason that drug's so bad for you is it just floods your brain with these positive, like these chemicals that they're built up in your body and added with these pills, and then your brain's flooded with it. Then you wake up. It's flooded with it.
Well, yeah,
and then you wake up, well, extremely though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But then you wake up the next day and you're feeling miserable. That's because your brain's already used all those chemicals. There's nothing left.
It's already used.
You're now depressed. You're lonely. You're sad. All those things that were blocking you from negativity. You're irritable. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed it. I didn't have any negative adverse effects. But I'll never do it again because it's so dangerous. I did not have an understanding of how dangerous that is. Right. But dopamine, yes, dopamine is one of the many chemicals that incites thought, happiness, emotion, you know, all those things.
So
anyway,
I think this is a good... I was just going to say... Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think it's glad that this generation is taking, like, the necessary, like, means to educate kids on why drugs are bad.
See, I don't think
we don't.
That's the problem. That's I disagree. I think the reason we created this podcast is I really think there's, again, you listen to Dr. Drew Pazinski, you listen to Jordan Peterson, you listen to all these people who are just, like, they get it. And the truth of the matter is, you're hearing, I'm glad that you're saying that. Saying it? Okay. So yeah, we got to wrap it up here shortly. But the issue is, you have me, so you're taking my perspective, and I'm so grateful. But you got to understand, that's not the world's perspective. That's not America's. Yeah. Me and Ben are trying to persuade people to understand that there's a bigger picture. There's a lot more to think about than, you know, what color shoes you're wearing or how big your dick is. Like, there's shit going on that if you just did it, which is so easy, you'd just be happy. But, and you'd make other people happy, you know, and then everyone would be happy. You know, fuck it. But, look, we gotta sign off. Hey, I really appreciate you, waking up. He woke up this morning. He was ready to go. I told you you'd be here. Yeah, I said you'd pop in. I said, don't worry, he'll be there. But yeah, so I guess in honor of my cousin, Go ahead and you can turn that off. We're going to wrap it up. Sleepy, it was nice having you.
It was nice being here. Thank you for having me.
For sure.
Yeah, no, it was great. Thank you for contributing.
Yeah, absolutely. And
thank you for sharing your point of views with me. I have related to a lot, and I understand a lot of what you were trying to say.
Excellent.
And I loved learning about new things like that.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Excellent.
yeah,
I like
perfect.
this. Yeah. Dude, he's 17 years old and he's smarter than I was when I was fucking
Right,
27.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, get rid of it. There we go. All right, we're hanging up. Hang up, dude. Jesus. It's a podcast. God damn.
So,
all right, wrap it up. Yeah, what's
all
up?
right. So yeah, I think this is a good place to stop. I know we delved into a lot of interesting topics. That
Yeah, we
relate to
kind of
this.
went all, but I like
Yeah.
it.
So I would just say the main point to this is just control. Have control of your life. I'd say this main conspiracy theory turned out to be something that actually has substance to what you deal with on a daily basis.
We actually didn't really get
Yeah.
to touching a conspiracy. I'm going to say
So
that'll be your next show for sure.
Right,
Yeah.
so that'll be my next one. So I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
really this shouldn't fall under conspiracy theory. I'm just thinking this is just another perspective on life.
Yeah.
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 So I'd say, besides the title, I didn't discover this till we talked about
Mm-hmm.
it, but I would say, thank you for attending our podcast. This is Thought Bubble Podcast
Thought Bubble
with us.
Podcast with us at
With-
gmail.com.
At gmail.com
And it's
with the producer and Anthony.
no, just Anthony.
Okay.
Just Anthony. Say it again, you guys.
Yeah, with the producer and Anthony.
Oh, you're bad at that. All right, I got you.
Okay.
This is Thought Bubble Podcast with us at gmail.com with the producer and Anthony. And then the number is 925-305-6252. Again, I'll post that in the comments just so you can see it, whatever. I'm not really paying attention.
And also, if you have anything to contribute, if you want to just message us after this podcast, please do. Don't hesitate to.
No, I was gonna say I'm not paying it. Sorry, you cut me off when I said I'm not paying attention to. I just want them to know I'm not paying attention to adding like what is it called again under the video when it's like in
Comments?
YouTube comments
Yeah.
or no, not comments. Details or,
Yeah,
or description.
details, right. Description.
I don't give a shit. So I'm
Okay.
gonna post it in here.
But yeah, so just
Yeah.
I would love to hear your guys' opinions, just about our podcast and what you think you might have learned from our conversation.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Just feedback in general. And,
That's true.
And also,
Yeah.
if you're still interested in this and you just want to bring something up, don't hesitate to message us because who knows, we might have another podcast. Call it part 2. Who knows? So
What do
just
you mean another part?
well, no, I mean another. Sorry, I'm sorry. Another video.
Video. All right, slow your roll there, Chief.
Another
video.
episode.
All right, slow down. Let's take a deep breath.
Another episode. Another episode where where.
Yeah, we'll talk about
we
whatever
might-
you want. That's
yeah.
what he's trying to
Yeah.
tell you. He's trying to say, look, we both have the email address. It's up. It's open on my. I got 3 goddamn monitors. It's open all the time. You got my number, my personal number. I've told you before. If you ever need help, well, first of all, if you need help, always call the correct number. I don't know the phone number for suicide hotline or whatever. Just get serious help.
Just get help.
But if get help. Just get
Like
help.
our computer.
Like,
Fix it.
what are you sitting here talking to me for? Go get help.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
his old
If you
computer-
know that badly that you
Right.
need help, get help.
His old computer said fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my computer was so broken it told me.
Anyway,
and should I post that picture? I'll post
Yeah,
it.
it was
next
it was
time.
great to have you guys. I had
Yeah.
fun. I guess this is the producer and Anthony, and we're signing off.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say. I got nothing. Yeah, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Yeah, have a good one. Gethelp.org. There you
Get-
go.
okay.
Oh!